Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's a Monday moment, and we're celebrating the New York Liberty's first ever WNBA championship last night in an overtime thriller where the Liberty won. But there is controversy marring this situation, as it seems that at the end of regulation, the referees handed two free throws to Breonna Stewart on a play that was not really a foul. Very, very interesting stuff about last night. In some ways, this WNBA season has been the most under the spotlight, most exciting, most growth for this young league. Well, I guess I don't know if I should call it young, but it is been not relatively young compared to the other leagues in the world. But yeah, this is too bad. In some ways, some people, a lot of people are crying foul on this in different ways. In fact, I've gone to Twitter and I found a couple of different tweets that are very interesting. One from Jordan Bolton, King Bolton, best friend of Gary Trent Jr., who is a big Minnesota fan of Minnesota sports, whether it's Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves, Lynx. He's saying that the referees owe him $400 because I'm guessing he bet on the Minnesota Lynx to win last night, and he's out $400 because he bet on them. And he really does feel like the referees handed it to the Liberty. Then we look and see another place on Twitter. We've got the guy, the biggest name in basketball ever, the greatest of all time, LeBron James, saying, "I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul. Let the damn players dictate the outcome of a close, battle-tested game." Yeah, I saw the play, and I have to agree. That is a weak ass foul. And the WNBA games, well, Grange is saying this morning, which is very interesting. What Michael Grange is saying this morning about the whole thing, because there is a lot of talking about the refereeing last night and how it determined things. He's saying, this is what Michael Grange, Raptors reporter, saying, since we're talking WNBA reffing this morning, I wonder if I'm the only person who thinks it's cray to have 6 fouls to use in a 40-minute game. You know, I like physical hoops, but I find WNBA almost too much so. Game 5 was rugby. I'll hang up and listen. Now, thinking about that, he's saying that there's so many fouls and there's so much physicality. How could they call a foul on such a non-physical play at the end in the lane where they put Breonna Stewart on the line? Yeah, in some ways, I hate this kind of script writing. I hate it when corporate forces and league officials want to manipulate the outcome for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? In some ways, obviously, and get going with some championships probably, because in some ways that's the best market in the WNBA. And also, you know, it doesn't look good. And in some ways, well, they needed some help. I mean, it seemed like it. Sabrina Ionescu, 1 for 19. Nah, that doesn't cut it. That's not the kind of stuff where a team deserves to win when one of their best players is shooting so horrible. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's players that are top notch that are not getting a single damn free throw. So there's some really crazy stuff about the WNBA final game 5 last night, the overtime thriller, that it's not really that thrilling. In fact, it's a disappointment because the referees have a hand in the whole determination of the exact last game of the season. This is the worst WNBA. Everybody's paying attention to you right now, and you blatantly railroad the game with the referee manipulation. That's horrible. That is not good in some ways, because you're getting new fans like me, and we want to be an alternative from the NBA as far as knowing that those kind of shenanigans go on in that league. Well, I was kind of hoping y'all were more pure league, but this is not good. This is not this makes me sad. In some ways, it makes me realize that more and more sports winners are getting more and more manipulated to get to there by behind the scenes corporate monies. And it scares the hell out of me for the future of Toronto sports, whether it's the Blue Jays, the Raptors, or the new WNBA team coming out. Because, you know, when we won in 2019 with the Toronto Raptors, no, they didn't want that economically. And in some ways, they couldn't do jack shit to stop us from coming to get that. You know, people will say, oh, the injuries to Kevin and Klay Thompson, all that kind of stuff. No. Listen, we were the best team that year, and we were probably going to beat them either way. But they were going to try and help the Golden State Warriors as much as they could. I'm telling y'all, the Raptors winning in 2019 is one of the biggest anomalies and biggest achievements in recent NBA history. Trust me, they were not trying to let Toronto win a championship. And the fact that we did against the machine is absolutely impressive. So, that's what I'm seeing last night. The Minnesota Lynx coach is very, very outspoken afterwards and just blatantly calling it out. And you know what? From what I saw, she's right. She's exactly right. This is what Trevor Jay's saying this morning. Reeve, the coach of the Minnesota Lynx, says the WNBA title was stolen from the Lynx during complaints about officiating and Defensive Player of the Year Collier fouling out of the game. Yeah, no respect for the Lynx and any of their top players. Some of them did not get any free throws, and there was a free throw discrepancy on the box score that I can look at, y'all. I have the box score for the game last night up right now, and they gave only 8 free throws to Minnesota. Meanwhile, 25 free throws for the New York Liberty. That is totally finally get their first championship. So in some ways, I'm calling sham, just like LeBron, just like Jordan Bolton, just like Coach Reeve. Sham. And for shame, WNBA. You get all these eyes on you. You have a dream season, and you let the referees manipulate the biggest moment of the final moment of the season. It's a sham. It's a shame, and it's too bad. In some ways, well, I'm going to start covering y'all's league, and I will not be pulling punches. If you guys are going to do this kind of shit to Toronto WNBA team led by Teresa Resch, ooh, I'm going to call you out on it every single time. So watch out, WNBA. You do not want to be like the NBA with your referee manipulations. Trust me. In some ways, y'all have the opportunity to more pure alternative of basketball that is not manipulated by the officials. But that's not what I saw last night. That's not what I saw last night. No, not at all. In some ways, you do a disservice to the young women that play for the Liberty when they should be able to win on their own merits. Well, maybe this year wasn't the year the Liberty needed to come up and win the championship because the Lynx were still the better team. But we will never know because y'all forced the Liberty to win last night. Yeah, that sucks. That's such bullshit. You feel good about yourselves, New York Liberty? You shouldn't, because you were handed that win last night against Minnesota, and it's sad. It's pathetic. And, in some ways, the way y'all were acting afterwards is fake and stupid because, honestly, you didn't earn this. You did not earn this championship, and the Lynx should have had a better shot at trying to win this game without the referees completely controlling things at the end. Such bullshit. Trevor's saying New York Liberty been around since 1997. And just won their first championship. Refs didn't want a second embarrassment for New York Liberty. Yeah, it's so messed up. Listen, whoever's running that league, Kathy, you need to stop this shit now. Do not be like Adam Silver's league. If Adam Silver's coming to you and saying, we really need the Liberty to win because it'll be good for business, tell him to fuck off and say, this is my league, and we're going to do this on the up and up, and it'll be a pure competition where teams go against each other and it's decided by players and not referees. That's what I got to say on that right there. I'm so disappointed in you, WNBA. You're catching so much more entertainment and attention from people because of people like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. But now you're squandering it and you're screwing up in different ways with different things, whether it's taking a shitty TV deal that you sold yourself short, whether it's just, overemphasizing certain people and not putting other people on blast. There's a lot of different stuff y'all aren't doing very well right now. And y'all need to get your head out of your ass because this is the time to grow. And you could get more people like me involved and watching with an educated eye as NBA fans coming in to become WNBA fans. So don't drop the ball at WNBA and get it right. In some ways, we want a real sport that is a real competition that is not manipulated. And we are smart. The veil has been lifted. We can see across sports when officials and the commissioner and the different people involved in the league are manipulating things. And we can see it. We're not stupid. We've had years and years and years of watching Mr. McMahon manipulate wrestling and do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I just said wrestling in comparison to the WNBA and the NBA. Because y'all write storylines, motherfucker. Just like Vince McMahon wrote storylines for years and years and years, y'all write storylines for what you want to happen with the Las Vegas Aces, the Los Angeles Lakers, different teams like that. Y'all writing storylines, put down the pen and let the players go out and dribble and make the storylines all natural. the way that they're supposed to be intended, the way that I believe they were written when I was a kid in David Stern's NBA, when I'd see teams with superstars and they battle and the best team won. There was no facade to this. In the NBA, I always felt like the best team was a champion because I saw the process of how they got there. And I didn't see such blatant referee manipulation, controlling the storylines and narratives in the league's Adam Silver. So, yeah, y'all need to quit this shit. If the WNBA can be saved, the NBA is compromised in all kinds of ways. But if the WNBA can be saved, it's not too late. Do something about it. But last night was not a good look. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's right. Kareem Thomas is saying Minnesota got robbed. There you go. Our dunk master is saying they got robbed straight up. He was watching it. And he said, what a way to ruin a great series. Referees remain undefeated. Yeah, that's messed up. It's messed up. Why'd y'all have to do that? Honestly, just let these women play on their merits and decide the game themselves. In some ways, it's like I can look at their box score and I'll be like, damn, look at this performance by this person and this person. I mean, first of all, Collier, 22 points, 11 of 23, did not shoot a single damn free throw. How is that possible? This woman had the ball in her hand like crazy last night, and she shot 0 free throws. You don't think them Liberty people were coming and hitting her and holding her? They were. They were holding her ass in the middle of the game. Y'all didn't put her on the line. What? What the hell is that rep manipulation? Kayla McBride, who was on my fantasy team this year in WNBA, fantastic shooter, 7 of 13, 21 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, 5 rebounds. Big time game. She put in that work. And what does she get for it? They get shafted. That's what they get. It's horrible. Canadian Bridget Carlton and the rest of them. On the other side, I look and I see a Golden Girl who made the logo shot the other day. And it was everybody shot 1 for 19. Sabrina Ionescu. I get it. She had a shootout with Steph. She's becoming more and more of a person. She's kind of a weird lightning rod with her emotions and doing different things around the court. In some ways, she's more controversial than Caitlin Clark, honestly. But how the hell does one of the best players in the game shoot 1 for 19 and then like, oh, they're so happy they won? You were horrible. You made 1 shot out of almost 20 shots. You were absolutely horrible. I mean, you did get 8 assists and 7 rebounds and 2 steals, but still, what the hell is that? I wouldn't be proud of yourselves. In fact, Breonna Stewart didn't shoot much better than her either. And it's like, oh, man, the Liberty shot 30% from the field and they won a championship. What does that say about your league? That a team will shoot 30% and they are able to win a championship in overtime. That doesn't speak well to the quality of play, WNBA, is what I'm going to say right now. So, yeah, really disappointed with blatant ref manipulation that is so apparent to everybody that they wanted New York Liberty to win their WNBA championship last night. So they wrote that script and railroaded it to that. Y'all got to be better at it than this. You really want to hide it? You need to go talk to Ed Malloy. You need to go talk to Scott Foster. They'll teach you how to railroad a game on the down low so that it's not so blatantly obvious. In some ways, y'all need to go to referee school from Ed Malloy, and he'll teach you ref manipulation at the highest level so you can hide it. In some ways, you don't do that manipulation right at the end of the game. You do the manipulations early. If you really want to know how to do it, you WNBA officials. Such a travesty. Such a travesty. Trevor J. saying, forget who hurt you yesterday, and don't forget those who love you every day. Forget the past that makes you cry, and focus on the present that makes you smile. Forget the pain, but never forget the lessons. Thank you, Commissioner J. Commissioner Fun, for your great words of wisdom. I love this. Stay present, move on, move forward, and keep striving into the future. And create yourself a new destiny and a new future for yourself. I love that, Trevor. That's right. In some ways, listen, there's people that are a reason for the season than just that season. And sometimes you'll have people that are lifers that ride or die with you your whole entire life. That's just how it is. In some ways, I've had people cut out on me all of a sudden abruptly for really fucked up, stupid ass reasons. Well, that don't make me lose no sleep because I'm strong on my own and independent, and I'll be able to do things just fine without certain people around. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. G saying, I have watched many WNBA games this season. The officials are worse than in the NBA. Sabrina went 1 for 19. Collier, hang on, it jumped ahead. I want to make sure I get this comment. Collier, uh, from the Lynx, the best player on the floor, had 0 free throws, 25 to 8 free throws in the end. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for jumping on your comment a little bit. Yeah, this is exactly right. It's crazy, G. And you watched a lot of games this year, and you had not seen the officials were this bad at any point. I mean, the stakes are higher. They really want to manipulate the storyline. And obviously, they just had to get the Liberty the first one. Well, I hope y'all feel good up in New York. In some ways, I could probably comprehend that the Yankees are in the World Series for similar reasons. I don't know how you manipulate baseball because I don't watch it very closely, but I'm sure this gets the Yankees to the World Series. And boy, they can't go wrong because it's either going to be the Dodgers or the Mets against them. And both of those are marquee matchups, whether it's LA versus New York, whether it's the New York Subway Series. It's all good and gravy for the MLB as far as the possible matchups for the World Series at this point. But yeah, I feel bad for teams like the Cleveland Guardians, who probably put in a good fight. Line was always going to be Yankees in the World Series once again. And that sucks. That's annoying. In some ways, do you feel good about yourselves, New York fans, that you are getting handouts all the time, partly because you're a metropolis, one of the biggest city in the United States, and really the only reason why y'all get success, and you should have had more success with your teams over the years, because these leagues want y'all to be successful, obviously, Knicks. But I'm just saying, y'all get propped up mainly because marquee city and all this bullshit. How can you be proud of yourselves and get in the World Series or winning a WNBA championship the way you do it? Seriously, how can you feel good about that? I'd feel empty inside if I went that way. Otherwise, we can look at our championship in the NBA, and the Raptors earned that shit. And to this day, I'm like, wow, how did they do that? They went against the machine, and they won that championship in 2019. And in some ways, look, we see the machine making the outcomes every which way that it wants to right now. Yeah, Liberty winning like that. That's messed up. That is messed up. G saying Sabrina and Stewart went 5 for 34 together. That is very bad. A team with the splits 31, 84, and 9 won a chip. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You're exactly right, G. It's ridiculous. That's not good quality. That does not speak well to the league. That the shooting stats of the winning team in the penultimate 5th game of the finals in an overtime game. It shouldn't have ever been overtime, honestly. They should have just let the Lynx win at the end of the regulation. In some ways, this is just like the Carlson play for the Raptors last week. They could have easily called a foul like the Celtics fans wanted when Brandon Carlson went up against Jordan Walsh in the last second of the 1-point win by the Raptors last week. But you know what? They decided we don't want to let this game be decided by free throws. Well, why didn't the referees think about that last night in New York? Because honestly, it looked cheap as fuck. And you know what? There's an unwritten rule, even in the NBA. We know this with their referees, that you don't bail out a team to give them free throws at the end just to try and help them win. In some ways, the last 2 minutes of an NBA game, the whistle is swallowed, and they don't start calling any whistles. You can expect to get hit, and nothing's going to be bailing you out. Well, they're going to call a I don't even know if she touched her. Honestly, in that play in the lane, I don't even know if the Lynx player actually touched Breanna Stewart on that call that put her to the line to make those 2 free throws to tie the game and put it into overtime. It didn't look like she barely touched her. And if there's inconsistency in the allowances of physicality throughout the 4 quarters, manipulation. And it makes me so mad. Why y'all doing this? Seriously, y'all have a good league. You don't need to do this. It's entertaining. In some ways, like I said, if the New York Liberty have not matured to the point or they're ready to take that step and win that championship, don't push them through, because you're doing them a disservice as well as everybody else. Trust me, they really are. Yeah. There you go. Cowboy saying good morning, Lex. Tap the Cowboy. Bradley, we love you, man. And the Raptor streaks 2 more days until we beat Cleveland. I like that. When do we find out the name for our WNBA Toronto team? Let's go. Well, we're supposed to find out by November. And what is it? It's the 21st of October. So there's 10 days until Halloween. And I think that it may be a Halloween present that we're going to get on this. They have to watch out because, like I said this weekend, The hockey team, the women's hockey team name is getting rejected. It's getting rejected right now. The Toronto Scepters is not going over well at all. In some ways, people are like, why do we want to celebrate colonizers? Why are we celebrating royalty with scepters? I mean, it's already ugly enough to see Prince Charles's ugly mug on our loonies all of a sudden. Have you noticed that? Did they put that Charles guy on our loonies? I was like, are we still under British rule? Why the fuck do we have to have King Charles on our money? Seriously, that's what I'm wondering right now. I don't get that. I was like, man, Queen Elizabeth, I get it. You know, she this is a long time we've had Queen Elizabeth on our money because she was queen for a long, long time. But now they're going to switch all the money and put King Charles on there. Why do we celebrate the monarchy in this country? The monarchy is connected to the residential schools. It's connected to all the ugly bullshit that happened on this continent when, European settlers came here. So it's like, why do we have to put a scepter in that? Well, it is hockey. It's it's a very white league. And in some ways, maybe they are into that kind of stuff. Well, it's not very inviting to people of color, immigrants, and different people from around Canada when you're using British monarchy symbols like the scepter. So yeah, you stepped in it. Really not very forward thinking. And in some ways, as somebody said, how the hell are you going to do a land acknowledgement at a game where the team's name is Scepters? It's really in poor taste. I'm going to say that right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. Good to see Cowboy. And we got to find out. WNBA will be smarter about the crafting of their team name than the PWHL. Trust me. They'll do a much better job, Kilmer Group and Teresa Resch. They're not going to put out something stupid that's going to get controversy like the Scepters. Trust me, they won't. Nako is saying, review my fantasy team, Lex. You got it, my guy. And I saw what you named your team. So we had our Yahoo fantasy draft yesterday, 16 teams drafting. And well, if you guys want, I'll go over a couple of teams. If you want your team reviewed, write in the chat, review my team next. I'll do it. I don't want to do all 16 teams. But people that write in there, everybody who writes in that they want me to review your team, I will go and look at it and give you my first thoughts and what I feel like you might do this year and whether I like your team or not. So, yeah, let's go look at Gerald's. Gerald's team is really cool, actually. It is one of the teams that I really like on this team. He has named his team Team Canada, which is really, really awesome and is very apropos because this man went and got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his first pick of the draft. And he set the tone with that. Not only does he have SGA, he's got Andrew Nebhart, he's got Kelly Olynyk, he's got Dylan Brooks. So he's got 4 big-time Team Canada guys on his team for this year. And that's fun to me. I love that. I love that synergy. You needed RJ too, my guy. You needed RJ. You maybe needed some of those other players from Team Canada also on there. Maybe you could have gotten Nickel. He's still out there. But yeah, I like that you got Desmond Bain, the person who Malachi should have been. You got Paulo Banchero, which is not a bad player, even though I love Scotty way, way more. Paulo is not a bad player to have. He's got OG on his team. I love that. You got OG Anunoby, and that's a fun person to have on your team. Hopefully he has good health this year. You stole Herb Jones from me in the middle of the draft. I was really mad about that. Really, really mad about that. I was going to get Herb Jones, and Nako snuck in there and seagulled him. And then Derek Lively, the second, is amazing. And he may be way too highly ranked on the ESPN 100 recently coming out. But Derek Lively, the second, is an amazing second-year player. So you've got some really good talent here, some very good young talent. Ayo Desuma, we're going to have to see how he does with the changes and shakeups with the Bulls. Kobe White's been emerging. Lonzo Ball is back. So we'll have to see what his place is in the Chicago Bulls hierarchy of things. Let me see. Closing out your team. Okuro's okay. Cason Wallace is a very nice young player. You've got a lot of second-year players I can see here. Nikola Jovic. And then he's got Kyle Lowry on his team too. So he's got the GROAT stashed at the bottom of the list, which I love. In some ways, I love that you got OG and you got Kyle. You got your, you got Kelly. So you got your Raptors factor. And I love that. OG, Kyle, Kelly Olynyk, SGA, and Team Canada. Very, very cool team, Gerald. I hope that they do well. I want you to be on top of changing your lineup week in and week out and doing what you do. Is a great name for your team. And you go, Gerald. I like this team. I'll be rooting for you to an extent because I do love a lot of your players. So I like this team a lot, Gerald. Good stuff. I like how you built it. I like the synergies with the Team Canada theme. And I also like seeing former Raptors on your team, OG and Kyle. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Andrew's here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Andrew. 8 free throws to 25. It's a complete crap. That's right. Andrew, you want me to review your team also? I'll do that. You just tell me. I'll go look at your team like I did just for Gerald just now, and I'll tell you what I think. Seymour saying New York or Manhattan is a bigger market than Minnesota. They took the business approach, and it might have hurt the league. Yeah, I'm agree with Seymour on this. Sheriff, good morning from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Our guy holding it down in the middle of the nation, City Slicker. Yeah, I hear you right now. You got to understand, we're not stupid. You fucking think we're stupid? Is that what you think? You think we're stupid? We can't see with our own eyes and understand what's happening here? You don't think we are stupid? Man, you get what you get, WNBA. And in some ways, I'm so disappointed in y'all. I'm going to still watch y'all because y'all have let Toronto enter the market, and we're coming. And I'm going to be a diehard WNBA Toronto fan, just like I'm a Raptors freak. And listen, I'm going to be watching y'all. I'm already watching y'all before we even show up. And I don't like what I saw last night. Let's just put it that way. I also don't like the implications of what Ed Rogers did to the WNBA Toronto team already, holding off and delaying their entry into the league. We should be coming in with the Valkyries right now. And there should be two teams having an expansion draft in December, this in a couple months. And it should have been Toronto and Golden State. But because Ed Rogers denied the WNBA in the initial bid with MLSE, they had to come and circle back a year later. So we're a year behind on our schedule to come into the WNBA. Normally, they'd have two teams come in expansion, and they would both do the expansion draft together. Now, the Valkyries don't have anybody they have to go and expand draft with. So they have free cherry picking first choice by themselves. It should have been Toronto and Golden State coming in at the same time. And this has offset the expansion of the WNBA. And I blame all of it on Ed Rogers because he delayed something that should have happened. In some ways, we'd known you were going to do this, MLSE. We would have just done the Kilmer Group setup and gone in that way with that. So now you've delayed the team for a year. And in some ways, you put an advantage for Golden State. And in some ways, I don't know if it's going to be fair for the Toronto team in some ways, because we're going to be expanding drafting with the Portland team, which I'm speculating once again will be called the Portland Roses, guys. I'm just guessing that's going to be the name. I was right. I actually kind of predicted they call the Golden State Valkyries the Valkyries because it's a female warrior, and it just made sense. Now, Portland's association with the rose, the flower, is so very strong. It just makes total sense. Now, Portland had a team before. Our feet down, sit down, Spike Lee. He's got some chairs for Spike Lee to sit down. Spike Lee was getting a little stressed in the game last night, a little stressed last night. I mean, listen, if the Lynx were better on the night for last night, let them just complete the series and win. I'm sorry. Just do that. Fiercey's here. Good morning, fam, and happy Monday. I'm happy the New York Liberty got their first title. Feel good story. However, Stewie and Ionescu did play like shit. Now let's cheer for the WNBA Toronto team. She's very happy because she's been rooting for the Liberty for a while and stuff. In some ways, I don't have a rooting interest other than our Toronto team with Teresa Resch. So seeing the way it went down, it's an outrage in some ways to me, just like with other people. I mean, I want to be happy for New York Liberty winning their first championship, but I want them to do it the right way and not with hand-holding from the officials. That just makes me mad. Seymour saying, good morning, eye candy, then ta-da. Nako's saying Spike Lee's remake of Old Boy is horrible. Yeah, I don't even know. I guess, Spike Lee is a great filmmaker. I've enjoyed his work over the years. Lots of really, really good movies he's made. But I don't know anything about this. I don't know Old Boy. I've never seen the original. So I couldn't tell you, Gerald, anything about this from my standpoint of knowledge because I just don't know. Seymour saying, Andrew and all Raptor freaks across the land, salute. That's right. Andrew's in there fighting the good fight. Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year. Andrew is in social media places, saving our faces and talking the good fight for the Raptors in the positive way. We love you, Andrew, for what you do, man. And that's right. Salute to all the Raptor freaks out there fighting the positive fight for our Toronto teams. That's right. Let's go. Cowboys saying good morning to Eye Candy. Are you in the fantasy? Let's go, Santino. MJ is playing. She's the Rockwilers, and she's in the Jurassic Park East division in our fantasy league. So, yes, Fiercey is playing once again this year. So, when you face her, be ready for a big matchup. And in some ways, we've seen a journey for Fiercey Salcera in the fantasy world of learning. And, well, she had a very good showing in the WNBA Fantasy League this year. So I expect big things from her in the NBA Fantasy League this year. That's right. She's been on a learning curve, and she's learning very quickly. and she does a good job. That's right. She's saying, "Good morning, Seymour," from Fiercey. And Cowboys saying City Slicker. That's right. Tatum's Hoopins here is laughing. Laughing. You heard me going off on the WNBA about this championship that happened last night. Yeah, it's kind of cheap. It's cheap. That's what I'll call it. It's a cheap championship. Why you want to win that way, New York? Come on. Yeah, Boston fans in here laughing. He can get on the board with a Toronto fan burning the Liberty for their first WNBA championship. That's right. Kareem saying at Cowboys, Spike absolutely embarrassed himself last night. Referees failed to do the right thing. Spike celebrating a championship in Barclays Center is funny to me because they won't be winning one in MSG. Ooh, and if our friend Tatum had anything to say about it, he'd agree with you and he'd say, yeah, because we're gonna get in his way, the green monster, the Knicks way. Yeah. It is kind of goofy because that's not the natural habitat for Spike Lee. He should be at Madison Square Garden. That is where he's the super fan of. And being in Jay-Z's Barclays Center isn't exactly right to me in some ways. I mean, he's just a New York fan. He's going to go and support all the New York teams. And it's not like there's two WNBA teams, like two MLB teams and two NFL teams and two NBA teams. And yeah, he's got to just go to the Liberty. And in some ways, yeah, he don't look right in Barclays Center. I'm not going to lie. You're right. Don't look right in there. Yeah, Fiercely saying, "Morning, Cowboy. I am in the fantasy league. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's go, Michael Buffer." Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Las Vegas Palms Hotel. And tonight's main event, Hulk Hogan versus Sting. Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, Michael Buffer. That's right, a legend of announcing. That's right. Let's get ready to rumble. Andrew's saying, so excited for Wednesday. So many games. Of course, Tatum's hooping team will be facing the New York Knicks tomorrow in the start of the NBA season starting tomorrow night. Knicks versus Celtics, a big matchup to start the NBA season. It'll be fun to see. In some ways, I'm sorry, Green team. I am rooting for my guy OG, at least to start. Now, as OG goes, I go. If OG's hurt, I'm not rooting for them anymore if he's not on the court. But if OG's playing, I'm rooting for them. I found out after I drafted Precious Achiuwa yesterday that this man's going to be out 5 to 6 weeks all of a sudden. Well, like y'all told me, Precious is just injury prone. And he has been his whole entire career. So I'm like, damn, well, at least I got injured reserve spots. So I can just throw him in one of them and get another player added to my team. So yeah, do your due diligence to set up your fantasy teams. The season's starting tomorrow, y'all. It's coming in quick. That's right. Dunk for the dunk champ, Kareem. Yeah, we could do that. We can do that. Let's see. Where is Kareem on the dunk charts right now? Guys, yesterday I did do an episode of To The Point. It's going to come out today. I want y'all to give him a sub and watch the video. It's really good. We had a fantastic panel on there with me and Coach Roach and beyond. And man, we are just giving you a great preview of the Raptors season on To The Point. So check out Brian's channel today. It's going to be dropping sometime this afternoon, he was saying yesterday. And we had a really good time. And I was lively, y'all. I'm going to say that. I was lively on To The Point. And I said some things on there that I haven't said on this stream. So if you want some exclusive content of Lex, Raptor Street going off, talking about the Raptors, check out To The Point. I'll probably echo some of the points that I've made on his show yesterday here over time. And you'll hear that Kareem has at this point, 370. That's right. Kai was saying, what's your Tatum's hoop and say 119 is nasty work. I know that doesn't no good. Like at some point, Liberty coach, are you going to stop calling Sabrina's number? If she's going to go 1 for 19 in a finals game in overtime and y'all still won, that don't make no sense to me. If you stink up the bed that bad, you need to lay in the shit and just take the outcome. And in some ways, the referees are the MVP of the game last night for the New York Liberty. Yeah, the New York Liberty. That's right. It's not your win. The refs helped you. And I even looked up the refs' names so I would know who they're using to manipulate because I got to get into that. I do the ref report for the NBA. Well, I'm going to have to do a ref report for WNBA, and I'm going to have to learn all their refs. I know quite a few of them already. And, we'll get all the percentages for how they deal with our WNBA Toronto team, just like what I do for the Raptors and the NBA refs. So we're going to know these people. In some ways, I'm refs left and right. You tell me an NBA ref, Nick Booker, JD Rawls, I don't care who it is. I know about them at this point because I paid attention. That's right. That's right. That's right. Nako is Team Canada, yo. Oh, Canada, Team Nako is here. SGA and Dylan, you have nothing to fear. That's right, Gerald. You go on with your patriotism of making Team Canada with Olympic stars for Canada from this past summer in Paris with Kelly and Andrew Nebhard. I love that shit. That's awesome. I love themes to teams. Let's just put it that way. I love the themes to the teams. That's right. All right, where are we with the stream? I want to make sure I don't miss any comments today. Let's see. Oh, Starscream's here today. All right, good. We got a New York fan in the house. We're gonna have to hear what he has to say. He is a Barclays guy. That's right. Let's see. Seymour saying 1 for 19 sounds crazy in any sport. Yeah, somebody's got to tell them stop shooting at a certain point. At a certain point, you just got to say stop shooting. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Fiercely saying, not the school of referee manipulation. That's right. Professor Malloy is here to teach a course. Yes, come in, young WNBA referees. My name is Ed Malloy. And I've been a referee in the NBA for a long, long time. And I know how to screw over teams on the down low. So easy. I will show you all the tricks. You can erase points from them early in the game in really weird ways. Trust me, I'll show you. Yeah, I in some ways have taken the course without even enrolling. I'm one of those people that sat in the back of the room and just took notes. Hey, you a student here? Nah, man, I'm just in the class, just sitting in here watching. I'm auditing your class. What? Huh? I ain't paying no tuition. No, I'm not. I'm just back here watching and getting the knowledge one way or another. That's right. I'm watching y'all on your rep manipulation classes. That's right. Nako saying 1 for 19 is probably okay for hockey, speaking as someone who doesn't watch hockey. That's probably right. I don't know. I don't really watch hockey either, but if you got one goal out of 19 shots, well, you got a goal. And if the game's 1-0, well, you won. There you go, right there. Starscream is here. Good to see a good Brooklyn. This is Brooklyn Nets fan, guy. So this is this is a Barclays fan. So let's see what he's saying. People complain about the free throw disparity last night, but conveniently leave out that the Lynx had a 20-9 advantage in game 4. Well, I'm going to say this. I did hear about this, that there was a free throw discrepancy in the game before this. And there is sometimes a balance of this. Why do you got to do this, though? Why don't you just call it the way it should be down the line? And I get it. But see, this is the thing, Starscream. We could say if they're going to hand the Lynx game 4 to extend the series, well, that's Scott Foster kind of shit. You extend the series to 5 games, more money, and wow, overtime to boot. But let's not get it twisted. That storyline was written to get to this point, and the storyline was written to get to this point last night. So I hate it. That's not the best argument because neither one is right. I agree. Neither one is right. I agree. But that's more money if the Lynx win game 4 and force a game 5. So I wish it could just be an unblemished, not manipulated outcome where these young athletes, these young women are just doing it and they are deciding things. And you're right. Either way, it's not right. Starscream is right about game 4. In some ways, I saw that too. Nako's getting a laugh from Seymour. And Fiercey saying, I am the Rockwilders, reference to Method Man and Redman's track. There you go. The Rockwilders. That was her team last year also. Cowboys saying, your team looks nice, Nako. What do you want for Wallace? Okay, he's trying to garner a trade for Case and Wallace right now. Okay, y'all can send trades through the machine. You don't have to do it through our chat. All right, Starscream saying, yes, I feel great, Lex, because I've been following the Liberties since the first season of the WNBA. And if they wanted New York to win so bad, why were we 0-5 in the finals before this year? That's interesting. You know, these are good points by Starscream. And I'm glad Starscream is here. Welcome back, by the way. You know what? I would say this. You know, there's a weird love-hate relationship with the New York market. In some ways, it's kind of how the Knicks have been too. Think about it. Where it's like they've languished since the 70s without winning a championship. And it's like, why does that happen? In some ways, I also have used the comparison of the Leafs to the Knicks. The Leafs are kind of like the Knicks of the NHL. They're in a huge, historic market that is just absolutely passionate and jaded. Let's just put it that way. That in some ways, mismanagement, cooks in the kitchen coming in, trying to run the team, a bunch of different people have made the team have a really hard time achieving. So I would say this: could I extrapolate that the manipulation of not having a clear person in charge, like in New York for many years, it's not the same anymore. It's different now. Leon Rose, Thibodeau, they've got the hierarchy figured out. But in the past, the Knicks had all kinds of problems with infighting and just silliness with players, coaches, and ownership. And, I don't know enough about the history of the Liberty like you, because obviously you've been a day one fan. But I would guess that maybe there's been like problems in like that with the New York teams. That's what I've noticed. That's a symptom of some of the New York franchises from all the sports. Is that there's just too many cooks in the kitchen trying to run things, and they don't have clear leadership or clear direction. So I don't know if it has to do with that. It could be very well that maybe they were saving up this one for the big time like this, and they're saying, yeah, get it now. I don't know. Maybe the Liberty have just been choke artists in the finals, and they were supposed to be again last night, but they weren't going to allow it. So I don't know, Starscream. I get it, though. In some ways, there's all eyes are on them now, and making them win right now is a feel good for all kinds of different reasons. And in some ways, it ensconces and gets more going. But man, they didn't have to do it so blatantly. They didn't have to do it so blatantly. If the referees were better at their job at hiding it, I wouldn't be calling them out because I wouldn't have noticed it or seen it. You can manipulate the games without everybody understanding that you did it, but they did it so blatantly last night. It's crazy. I love that you're here standing up for them. And I don't want you to get it twisted. I'm not against the Liberty. I'm against the referees and how they did that last night. In some ways, I feel like they robbed them the opportunity to do it on their own by putting themselves in the middle of it all and being a big, huge deciding factor. And that's the problem right there. In some ways, I didn't care who won last night, but I don't like to see it get railroaded by the officials. That's what I don't like. Cowboys saying microphone check, closing down the sector. Okay, he's doing some method man there. Let's see. Smooth saying Yankees haven't been in a World Series since 2001, though. They've had some great teams, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not paying attention to these leagues. I'm just, windbursting that, New York is an important market in sports. And in some ways, they want them to be competitive. Maybe it's like the Leafs. They'll sell the tickets, just be kind of good enough so that people have a dream. And then if you don't make it, you don't make it. Sometimes I feel like some of the New York teams have dysfunction or they're not run very well. And that's part of the reason why they don't get all the way there. There's so many factors to get all the way there. I'm telling you, there's so many factors. Fiercely saying 2019 was legit. We absolutely deserved it thanks to the Raptors. Yeah, they did. Honestly, everybody was still trying to script right. The Warriors going to beat us in the finals when game one came around. And we wrote a different script. I'm sorry. In some ways, it was very important that Nick Nurse and the Raptors got the best record, the second best record in the league that year. Because having a home court advantage in the finals against the Warriors was big time. Trust me, I was at game one of the finals, and I was yelling loud and loud. And there was no way the Raptors going to lose game one to the Warriors in 2019 because we came correct. Trust me, in the arena, and the team did too. That's right. Tatum saying the Liberty are more relevant than the Knicks, and he's laughing. You know what? Let's do this, Atlantic Division foe. Let's laugh at the other Atlantic Division foe. Now, I don't know. This is a big year for New York in sports. They have a lot of good stuff going. I mean, the Yankees are now in the World Series. The Liberty just won a championship, and the Knicks do look good this year, Tatum. So we'll have to see what's up. Some Blue Jays just flew into the yard talking about New York sports and the American League East. Hey, Blue Jays, I got some picturesque Blue Jays out here, man. Like the prototype. They just they look like the picture from the book. They look like the Blue Jays logo, honestly. They're just perfect Blue Jays. I don't know. They've been out in my yard a lot in the last month. A lot. Let's see. Seymour saying facts, Tatum. Facts. There you go. Yeah, I guess right now for sure. But the NBA season is going to start. You guys are going to play them tomorrow. And we'll have to see the media circus that's going to revolve around the New York Knicks. Of course, they've already had this weird DiVincenzo exchange with Coach Brunson and all the interesting things with that. So, yeah, I think the interesting thing about the Knicks right now is that all of their big men are hurt. All of them now. Precious is out now. And Jericho Sims just got hurt too. And I know they got Cat. But yeah, they're missing a lot of size up front. And this is a good time for the Celtics to play them because y'all are kind of missing Porzingis and different stuff. But so it's going to be a little bit of a smaller battle. And I think in some ways, the Celtics have the advantage when you're going small. against the Knicks. We'll have to see. It's going to be so interesting. I think it's also very interesting that Bridges has not fit in well so far with the Knicks in preseason, and he is not playing the same kind of level basketball that he played in Phoenix and Brooklyn. That there's a lot of different little drama storylines on the New York Knicks this year. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You want an alley oop to Jason Tatum's hooping? All right, we've been friendly with this Celtics fan. They've been cool. They've been getting dunks already. So let's see. This is like, all right, we'll give him a 3-pointer. You're at 8. You got that Jared Roden 8, but he got waved. Tatum's hooping is getting facts from the Raptor freaks this morning. That's right. He's laughing. Seymour saying, yo, Tatum, they make fun of your noise. Your boy's shooting from form saying his body looks like a lizard. Laugh out loud. Lex, your thoughts on Tatum shooting for him? What? I haven't heard about this at all. I mean, I've never thought that Jason Tatum had the best shooting form. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's been part of the problem with his consistency over the years. I mean, I'm that kind of basketball coach, that kind of person that looks at fundamentals. And he does have a little bit of a variance to the way he shoots. And it depends on the situation. And of course, you're going to expect that. But in some ways, yeah, there's some weird shooting form to him. And in some ways, his consistency for shooting is kind of all over the place, depending on certain things. They're lucky they've got Jaylen Brown just in case, or even now. I mean, Drew Holiday and Derek White, those 4 guys are a great quartet. And yeah, Tatum, when he's on, he's badass. But there are often nights where he's high volume and not making shots, just like Sabrina. Not that bad, though. No, I don't see Jason going 1 for 19, but I've seen him go 4 for 24. Yeah, hell. Yeah, I don't want to make fun of his shooting. They're calling him a lizard. That's weird, man. That's weird, man. Yeah, Cowboys laughing. Starscream saying at Seymour Pape, the Liberty don't even play in Manhattan, so that narrative goes out the window. Well, I just feel like that market's so big that obviously New York teams are going to get a little favor in certain ways. I think it's kind of sad that the Knicks haven't done better in the last 50 years, considering that it's such a marquee team and so many people have wanted them to. What the hell has happened to them? I guess it was Jordan. I guess it was the Lakers. I guess it was the Spurs. I guess it was the Miami Heat. I guess it was the Warriors. There's all these dynasty teams just taking up all the championships. Obviously, Michael Jordan X'd out Patrick Ewing's era and didn't allow him to get to the place. Although Ewing did have one season where he was in the finals against Akeem and he didn't make it happen. But yeah, it's like, why haven't the Knicks won since the 70s? You got to wonder about that. Now they're in better shape this year, and they're dangerous. Trust me, they're dangerous. But a lot of people are talking about between those 2 teams in the Atlantic that we deal with, Boston, Philly, and New York are very interesting this year. And which one of those rosters would you rather have? I'm wondering, guys. Would you rather have Philadelphia or would you rather have the New York roster? Those are 2 very interesting rosters, and they really are championship or bust teams. Meanwhile, we got our friend Tatum's hooping here, and it's like we want to repeat. Well, something's going to happen in that Atlantic division between these 3 teams as far as 2 teams are championships or bust, and 1 team wants to repeat. So something's going to happen. I don't know. Not everybody going to win. There's going to be somebody failing. That's right. And honestly, if all 3 of them don't win this year, hey, a Raptors hater saying, yeah. But only one of them can win, and I'm always rooting for the Western Conference if it's not the Raptors in the finals. Unless it's Siakam. I will root for Indiana if they get to the finals. I will root for them. Yeah, let's see. Seymour saying, Starscream, my bad. It just shows I'm not a fan of New York. Yeah, we aren't. I mean, it's a natural battle. We're always in the same divisions, Boston, New York, Toronto. And it's just how it is. It's American League East. It's NHL, Original Six stuff. There's a lot to the megatropolises of the Northeast, and they battle. Boston, New York is a huge rivalry. Well, Toronto's involved in this in certain ways, not as big as a rivalry between those 2 cities. And Philadelphia also historically, yeah. Philadelphia has been a rival of Boston in the NBA and the Knicks also. Yeah, and they definitely are a rival too. Yeah, we don't like the Sixers up here for sure. Yeah. Fiercely saying, I strongly believe the objective was to crown either Ionescu or Stewart as MVP, but they played so bad they gave it to Jonquel Jones, saying averaging 18 points, all about the reproach. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't just hand it to one of the 2 ladies that absolutely shat the bed with their field goal percentage last night. It would have looked horrible. So good stuff. In some ways, that's a kind of a cool thing as a byproduct of the way that the Liberty won last night is that you had a not predictable MVP. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool in some ways. Now, some people were saying Collier should have been the MVP either way, even if the Liberty had won. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Kareem saying Tatum and Mikal Bridges' shooting form looks like a poor man's Chris Boucher windup. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, Kareem. Tatum's saying at Seymour Pape, they're going to find a way to talk about him no matter what. Last time I checked, Tatum dropped 31 in game 5. Yeah, he's talking about this finals that just happened. Yeah. And he showed up and he made it happen and he helped his team win. And I will say this, the Celtics won a legitimate championship this year. In some ways, look, I am a hater of the Celtics. Last year, I was just hoping somebody would stop their train, but nobody did. And they were absolutely the best team last year. So I have to give kudos when it is. You know how much that pains me. You know how much I've been a Celtics hater on this channel the last 3 years. But honestly, also, I have to respect the team that actually did it. And they did do it. They did do it. They were absolutely the best team in the league last year. And that's a very legitimate championship that the Celtics got last year. It may have been a weaker opponent than I would have liked. And I wish they had had more challenge. But still, I can't hate on the Celtics. I have to respect them this year because they are the reigning champs. And they did finally get that from there. I was disrespecting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum about being non-champions for years until just recently. In some ways, that was a very plausible argument. Well, you never won nothing. Well, we can't say that anymore. And that's just how it is. We can't say that anymore. That's right. Seymour's Cowboys laughing, and Seymour's got the he who shall not be named crying face on there. Starscream saying, again, I'll say it. If the league wanted to rig it for New York to win, why would they wait 28 years to do so? They could have easily rigged it in the beginning years of the league, but Houston won 4 in a row. Well, I don't think that this may be a very new thing. I'm not talking about, I don't think the WNBA has been rigged a whole lot. That's what I'm saying. I think partly because they feel like the stakes are rose because the attention's coming finally, the money's coming, that they feel like they may need to write storylines now just to make sure. And I feel like there was some storyline writing with people like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and, what happened last night. So I would say this, Starscream, I think that they were the league that I was talking about that I wanted all along. Just win on your own merits. And because people didn't care enough. But now that people are starting to care, maybe they are starting to try and write storylines. And I saw a storyline written last night. I'm sorry. That's probably the reason right there. Is like, well, we're not going to manipulate or the integrity of the league for if nobody's watching. Why would we cheat to help New York in this case? So I think that's why it is. It's just there's more eyes on the product this year because of Caitlin Clark. And that's why right there. Nako's saying Brown's offense is better than Tatum's, but Tatum is the more complete and better player. I don't know. I'm always on Team Brown. Seriously, I think Jaylen Brown's the best player in Boston, and I've said that for a long, long time. In some ways, I think that I was very happy that he was the MVP of the finals. I'm not gonna lie. And then also, I was kind of pissed that he didn't make the Olympic team. I am a huge fan of Jaylen Brown out of the two of them, and he's the one that I feel like he doesn't necessarily get enough credit. And in some ways, the way that the NBA markets Jason Tatum annoys me because I feel like they should be marketing Jaylen Brown just as much. And I don't like the NBA using poster boys and stuff when they're not totally there yet. And I will say he's there now. But early on in Jason Tatum's career, just like Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson, he was getting so much pub as being the next generation on stuff. I was like, fuck this bullshit. These guys have not earned this shit yet, whether it was Ben Simmons or Zion Williamson. And now Jason Tatum has. But for many, many years, I felt like them putting him on blast so much in the marketing. I was like, I hate this golden boy anointing shit that the NBA does for their marketing. And in some ways, I was on Brown's side as far as like he needs more attention and more accolades. And I was so happy to see him get the finals MVP. I really, really was. Fiercely saying, nice to see many Wu-Tang fans in the chat when hip hop was legit. There you go. I like that too. Cool Cat's here. Good to see the coach. Cool Cat is in the house. She's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Congrats to the WNBA finals. New York Liberty. Refs should just let the teams play. Now they have inserted themselves in the storyline. That was not a foul in regular season. Yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. That game is over unless they call that foul for Breonna Stewart. That game is over, and the Lynx have won. In some ways, oh, last gasp attempt. Y'all need to work on your ref manipulating. If you're going to do this, you need to cover it up better. That's what I'm going to say right there. Tatum's hooping saying 100% to Nako about his take on Brown and Tatum. Very interesting. And Cowboys saying Wu-Tang forever. All right, Wu-Tang Clan. All right, now. Trevor's saying even Stevie Wonder saw what the refs did last night. Trevor's funny. When Trevor does a funny, I got to give him some props for that. So, Trevor, you're pretty funny right there. All right, I'm going to give you a 5-pointer. You're at 188, Trevor, because that's pretty funny. Even Stevie Wonder could see what happened last night. That's hilarious. Cool Cat saying Herb Jones and Derek Lively was stolen from my queue, was supposed to be on my roster. All right, I'm going to take that queue, and we're going to go look at Cool Cat's team next. We'll go look at the Cool Cat Ballers. Let's see how Cool Cat did. Actually, I liked what she was doing last night. I was paying attention to how she drafted. We were just talking about a couple of these players right here. She's got Jaylen Brown on her team and Mikal Bridges. And her first pick was her guy, Pascal Siakam. Of course, we know Cool Cat is a #1 fan of Pascal Siakam, and we love him too. I can't deny it. She has some really good players. She's got Devin Booker also. She's got Brandon Miller, who's an absolute stud in his second year coming in. Like, honestly, if there wasn't all that Wemby talk last year, Brandon Miller might have been the rookie of the year because he was really, really good as a rookie. Really polished guy. And Michael Jordan made the right choice when he left the Hornets and he picked him instead. So, yeah, I like her team overall. She's got a lot of solid people in her starting lineup, a very nasty starting lineup with Booker, Brown, Bridges, Pascal Siakam, Brandon Miller. She's got Aaron Gordon, which is, he's all right. Naz Reid's an interesting player to have. Then she's got KCP and Trace Jackson Davis, the son of Dale Davis, Wendell Carter Jr., James Wiseman. James Wiseman has an NA next to his name. Did he get cut by Indiana? Because he is not officially on a roster. So, Cool Cat, you might need to go and drop James Wiseman because it maybe he's not in the league, that he did get cut because he's got that NA. That means he's not available or not playing. She picked up a couple of other old Pacer, Jalen Smith, and also Obi Toppin to go along with Pascal. And she's got Rui Hashimura. And then she was the one who went and spent the money on ranked 598, Mr. Ulrich Shamshe as her Raptor. So, yeah, I like her team. It's interesting. I don't know if it's as balanced as Gerald's. It seems like there's a lot of forwards and centers, and I don't see enough guards, but you maybe get away with it. You got Devin Booker playing point guard, but you may need to go get another point guard is what I'm going to say to you right now, Cool Cat, because you got one person on your team that is eligible to play point guard, and that is Devin Booker. None of these other guys have point guard eligibility, so you're going to just have Devin Booker in your point guard all year. So I would say go get a point guard. You may need to drop James Wiseman and get a new point guard. That's my tips for Cool Cat and the Ballas. The Ballas, that's right. Fiercely saying, if you have time, Lex, can you review my fantasy lineup? For sure. We'll go do that right now. The Rock Wilders is who we're talking about. MJ's over in Ottawa region, and we love MJ, Fiercely Salsera. Yeah, she was the one who went and got Jalen Brunson. So she's got a point guard in Jalen Brunson. She's got Derek White also. So she's got the starting point guards for the Celtics and the Knicks on her team. She picked up Cameron Johnson after that great performance he had against the Raptors in the last preseason game. That dude was a bucket every which way with over 30 points. That's an interesting pick. Yeah, I like that she's got Jakob. She got Jakob early as her Raptor. And that's a fantastic center to have. Norman Powell, of course, I'm going to love a former Raptor champion, Norman Powell, being on the team. Kevon Looney, Clint Capella. There you go. You got some big guys with some blocks and some rebounding. TJ McConnell, interesting pick. She's got quite a few Indiana guys here. Ben Mathurin also. I like that. Now, your bench is a little to me. I'm kind of scared of it being good. I don't think it will be. I'm not sure. Corey Kispert, we saw him play well for the Wizards in the preseason. Mike Conley's a solid player. Keldon Johnson's up and down. And she's got Duncan Robinson and Isaiah Joe. So that's her lineup right there. So, yeah, you know what? I would say, Fiercey, I would say that you could maybe improve your bench. Don't drop any of these guys that are high ranking like you did last year, but maybe cycle some of these guys that are not the most attractive if they don't play well, like Isaiah Joe, Duncan Robinson, and Corey Kispert, and even TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell may not be that good of a player for you to have in this league, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is really good. I really do like that you do have Norman Powell and Jakob Poeltl. And yeah, Derek White and Jalen Brunson, those are pretty good point guards to have for your team. So yeah, Not a bad team. Not a bad team. I'd fix your bench, though. That's what I would say. That's what I would say right there. Seymour's laughing. Tatum's hooping saying New York got a championship before Spike Lee checked out. All right, Cowboys saying Winter Wars and Incarcerated Scarface are one of my favorites. There are too many. Yeah, good songs. Too many good songs for sure. Fiercely saying at Cool Cat, same here. Some people took my picks right before me. Cutthroat. That's how it is. I mean, Gerald took Herb Jones, was somebody I wanted to get too. So yeah, this is how it is. I was going to get Kevin Herter and somebody grabbed him right before at the end. It's just how it is. Cool Cat, I did review your team. And yeah, players were stolen from everybody. That's just how a draft is. That's there's a lot of good players. There's players that we see and other teams want. Well, that's just how it is. It's the draft. That's just how it goes. That's why Orlando was mad at us when we got Scotty Barnes. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Kareem saying I wanted to draft Lonzo, LaMelo, and Grady Dick for my own personal reasons, but it wasn't practical. All right, you want to dunk for toilet humor? This guy wanted the dick and balls on his team. Obviously, I'll spell it out for everybody. He wanted dick and balls on his team. He probably would have named his team Dick and Balls too if he had gotten that trifecta of things. Yeah, somebody got. Oh, there's a red-headed woodpecker on the tree now. Speaking of peckers and Dick and Balls and all that kind of stuff. All right, anyway, don't get distracted by nature outside the window, Lex. 375 for you, Kareem. Even though it is a dick joke, we'll allow it because it's kind of funny. You want to get Lonzo and LaMelo. All right, let's see. All right, Cool Cat's laughing. And Fiercey saw Sarah with Fiercey. And Cowboys saying, check my team. Does anybody want Noah Clowney for a point guard? All right, he needs a point guard is what Bradley's saying. We'll go look at Tada. Tada is the team for Bradley. And it is he's got actually an interesting team. He has Grady Dick. So maybe you could trade Kareem Dick so that he could start building his dick and balls. So yeah, I love you got DeMar, man. DeMar, your team is always interesting, Bradley. Last year were heavy with rookies also, and you always do that. This year he's got Zach Edey and Alexander Sarr, and he's got Donovan Clingham either. He's got all these centers, and he's got Bub Carrington too. Now, all right, this is interesting. He's got a bunch of big guys on the bench, like a lot of centers, and that's why he doesn't need Noah Clowney. In some ways, he's got to get a point guard for Noah Clowney. All right, so if anybody's interested in Noah Clowney, shoot a deal towards Bradley for the center. Now, he's got an interesting team. He's got Drew Holiday at point guard. He's got both the Thompson twins, Amin and Asur. He's got DeMar, which is a groat. And I love that you picked up DeMar, Bradley. That's awesome. He's got Cat also. He went and got big man Cat from New York. He's got Klay Thompson, who's in a new locale in Dallas also, which is interesting. I think Klay Thompson's a little washed, though, just so you guys know. I think he's a little washed. I think Grady's awesome to have. He's going to have a big jump up. Trust me. And then he's got Koloko. I don't even understand why you spent the wire on Koloko. I guess it's just old habits died hard, and he's just got to go get Koloko just in case. But if he's not cleared, he's not playing. So we'll have to see. And he got Bol too, which is kind of interesting. Bradley, you have a weird team. It's fun. It's very center oriented. You've got a lot of centers on this team with Zach Edey, Bol, Christian Koloko, Donovan Clingham, Alexander Sarr, Cat. This is a very big team, and you're probably going to win a lot of blocks matchups this season with your opponents. So, yeah, not a bad team. I like your rookies. You got Bub Carrington and Zach Edey. Very, very cool. Very, very cool team. But, yeah, y'all send a trade to Bradley for Noah Clowney, so he can get a point guard if you want to help him out. All right, let's see. Spray paint. All right, Brian's here, guys. What's up, Freak Nation? Maybe the Liberty winning can help put some asses in the seats so they can start making money. Yeah, I mean, WNBA is making money. It's had a fantastic year, and it's on the rise, baby. And I'm so hyped about covering the WNBA, Brian. Dap, and thank you, Brian, for having me on your show yesterday. To the point, fantastic panel, and I really enjoyed talking basketball with those guys. You were right, Brian. There's a good synergy between that panel group right there. And yeah, Coach Roach, highly respected, beyond fantastic to meet you, and very respected views from both the gentlemen that you had me paired up with on the show yesterday. So yeah, y'all watch and check out, follow To the Point, and give him a subscription. And look out for his season preview for the Raptors coming out later today. And I appear in it. Raptors Freak is on there. Yeah. So dap to you, Brian. Dap, 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 dap. Cowboys saying Brian in the house playing the steel pan. When does the video drop? That's right. He's saying tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Okay. So it'll be tomorrow, not today. Okay. All right. So it'll be a drop just before the stream tomorrow. Tuesday trivia tomorrow. And David's writing the questions. I'm not writing them at all today. So he's taken care of most of them already, and he'll have them finished up. So we'll do commissioner of trivia, David Saborn's writing the trivia for tomorrow. I'm not doing it. I let him do it all on his own today. So yeah, we'll see. Cowboys got the fist, and Trevor's saying Stephen A. Smith excited about the Liberty Championship. Say we win one and we're going for the second one. Okay. Well, do you need hand holding to get the second one also? That's what I would say. It's not a good look. Let's just put it that way, Stephen A. Smith. So, yeah, don't gloat about this, man. Don't gloat about this. Let's see. Where am I on the chat? It jumped ahead. Okay, here. Cowboys saying, my baby's mom's is from Princetown. Okay. And Brian saying, Lex, the Leviathan did great. He called me a Leviathan, which I'm like, wow, I've never been called a Leviathan. But I guess it kind of fits for what I do on this channel. Every single day streaming, I'm unstoppable. I'm deep and with it, and I just keep coming. And that's what a Leviathan is. G saying some players are allowed to defend like Draymond Green, and others can't even look at a player. Clark and even Angel were getting smacked around with no calls. Yeah, I want consistency. I don't want guys to have special carte blanche to just be thugs like Draymond Green is. Yeah, in some ways, we need this to be a fair league. I've never agreed with superstar calls. I've always felt like treating superstars better or is like you're just making it easier for them. But the NBA wanted to craft the market to the image and in some ways helping their superstars be better and enhance their stats is better for the product and making money. But still, I still feel like superstar calls have always been full of shit. And the idea of like this person gets this call because they're more bona fide and a superstar. Well, the thing is, they can manufacture the superstars in their own eyes. And some teams, they're not looking at having any superstars. And that's really not fair, is what I'll say right there. It used to be in the NBA in the 80s. Each team had one superstar, and they got superstar calls. If the Denver Nuggets were playing, Alex English got calls. And it didn't matter if you're a big or small team. In some ways, I like that more because it's more fair. If you're going to have superstar calls, everybody should have a designated face of the franchise like Scotty Barnes that gets superstar calls. And stop saying, oh, this team has like 5 superstars, and we're going to give 5 of these guys on the Lakers superstar calls. And then we're not going to give any calls to a team like the Sacramento Kings, even though DeMar DeRozan has been playing in this league for how long, and he's at what point on the list for getting a certain place. That's the thing I don't like. I want this to be a fair leagues. And the refereeing should be right down the middle with everything, is what I'm saying. Tatum's hooping saying, going to be that game tomorrow, too. The Garden's going to be rocking. It's kicking off the NBA season. And as NBA fans, we're excited to see it. Yeah, and we'll get our chance to kick the Cavaliers' ass on Wednesday night. Yeah, we're going to take them down. They're lost, and they're in a weird place. And the Raptors have got their shit together. Their early training camps in Malaga, Spain, and in Miami, South Beach are paying off. The Raptors have a great chemistry that's mid-season form, and some of these other teams are going to be coming to see us, and we're already revved up. And it's going to be fun to see them get messed up by a team they weren't supposed to get messed up by because the Raptors are just ahead on their season because they took the initiative to all get together and spend like 2 months of the offseason working together already, even though they're a brand new team, brand new rookies, brand new synergy. Well, that synergy's been building up already, and the connections are already very strong. So we'll have to see what happens. That's right. Cowboys saying, how are you playing, Tatum? How you playing? How you playing? Fiercely saying, agree with Lex. Ionescu should have played less minutes. Courtney Williams started cold in overtime. Cheryl Reeves subbed her for Heiderman. Quick reaction. She needed the win and did what was necessary. Yeah, it's just too bad. In some ways, we don't ever like to see at the very end of the game, teams get bailed out with free throws to help them, especially when the foul is not apparent, honestly, especially when the foul is not apparent. Yeah, Cowboys laughing. What team? What? I don't even know what you guys are laughing about anyway. Let me keep going. Starscream saying the Liberty went to 4 finals in the first 6 years of the league and lost all 4 and only won 1 game of those finals. That was against the Comets, most of those. Yeah. Yeah, he's saying, of course they robbed the Lynx, but I'm a fan. I'll never apologize for my team winning because I've been on the other end of calls for my teams. He's laughing. It's all good, Starscream. Soak it in, even if it's a little cheap. But yeah, enjoy it honestly. And I really commend you being a lifelong Liberty fan. That you're not a Johnny come lately. That you've been following that team the whole time, and well, you're getting your payoff now. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. And in some ways, I won't hate on you for that. And you're right. You're exactly right. Somebody's always going to be a decrier and saying, "Oh, that was a cheap victory," or "This championship was kind of bullshit." Everybody's going to do that. Whether it's the Lakers bubble champ injuries to Durant and Thompson, but there's always going to be some sort of thing that's going to make people kind of downgrade your championship. Kind of in some ways, me saying the Celtics played a shitty Dallas team and that was easy for them to win. In some ways, that kind of downgrades the Celtics championship this year because the Western Conference opponent was so crap for them. In some ways, should have had a better. There's always going to be things like this. It's just this is so blatant and just like so consequential to the absolute outcome of the game, and that's too bad. That's too bad. G saying the player did not touch her in the last play. It was all ball, but they are saying she wasn't in a proper defensive stance. So that's what I'm saying. They will rationalize and make the case for whatever they want. And it's like all bullshit. That's why these rules are so crazy and all over the place these days in basketball. Is because they can manipulate through the ruling and how they see the play. And then they'll just make up some bullshit. Well, this is correct defensive stance. What the fuck is that? Seriously. In some ways, that play against the Celtics with Brendan Carlson the other day, the part of the reason why they didn't call a foul on him is because he went straight up. He didn't jump into Jordan Walsh. He came straight up, and that is not a foul if he's just jumping straight up and vertical and in a cylinder. That's the other thing. I'm not just bullshitting and calling out the refs. I'm learning what the calls are and how they should be calling shit. And, I know kind of the rules. And when they're bullshitting around it and kind of making convoluted reasoning for why they did this, like a defensive stance in that situation with the Lynx and the Liberty, I can see right through it. In some ways, it's like the book is the book. Go by the book. And, well, there are places where they can kind of finagle things and theorize or justify certain things too. And that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Starscream, respect the honesty. Yeah, I do too. And honestly, thanks for coming in and standing up for this Liberty championship that I kind of was like crapping on earlier. In some ways, it is a great accomplishment, and I'm happy for that franchise to get their first championship. Let's not get it twisted. In some ways, I did want the Liberty to win, but I just wish it hadn't been stolen from them like the refs did. It would have been cool to see them do it on their own without the help, is what I'm saying. That's all. So he's saying last chip for the Knicks was 73, right? Yeah, it was something about that. It's right around when I was born. I know the Warriors won in 75 with Rick Barry. And I think they were 2 championships right before that with Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier and Bill Bradley and Phil Jackson and Dave DeBusschere and Willis Reed. Yeah, that team for the Knicks. That's the last one that won. Carlos here. Morning, Lex from Freak Nation. Good morning to you, Carlo. I hope you're having a great Monday morning. Good to see you. Starscream saying, as long as it's everyone but the Knicks, I will be ecstatic. See, he's Nets fan, so he's not going for the Knicks. He wants everybody in New York to do well, except New York Knicks. So, yeah, I can get behind you with that. And I'm sure Tatum Hoopin's with us, too, on this. Raptor fan, Nets fan, and Celtics fan, united against Sixers and Knicks Nation. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Carlos saying New York teams in resurgence this year, WNBA, MLB, even NBA and NHL. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. It's good for sports revenues for these teams and getting the city hyped up. They can be very down and kind of, New York fans, it's sad. So it's some real glimmers of hope and brightness around sports in New York right now, for sure. For sure. It's fun. In some ways, it's fun. In some ways, I can get behind it more in other leagues than the NBA because I know how Knicks fans get when they start getting going with success. They get real arrogant and they're all over the place talking some mad trash. And I'm sure Celtic fan and Nets fan that's here with us today will be like, yeah, we don't need to hear this crap. We don't need to hear a Knicks fan get all big in their britches. No, we don't. No, we don't. Kareem saying, I know the Raptors have to go through a crazy gauntlet at the beginning of the season, but if you look, a lot of these games are at home. That's the silver lining. I said this kind of yesterday on Brian's show. I'll give you a little preview that I really feel like partly because we beat the Celtics by 1 point last week in the preseason, and nobody expected that the Raptors are going to steal games and games they had no business winning. that in some ways our energy and our hustle and Scotty leading the team with a certain kind of swagger and the way he communicates and that he's kind of keeping people accountable is one of the things he's doing. Like he's hard on the other players as far as I expect y'all to do everything right, like I'm trying to do. So it's going to be really interesting. I think Darko's a very smart coach who has really interesting systems and he has sound procedures and ways that he does things as an NBA head coach. And I think those will pay off in the mystery world of going where no man has gone before. This is really kind of like the Starship Enterprise, the Raptors team this year. We have no idea where they're going this year. In fact, I said this on Brian's show. This is the one time in the whole 30 years of Raptors basketball, I can't put a good grasp on what the hell our team's going to do this year. Now, I predicted they're going to do well. I officially said 38 wins on Brian's show, and I was one of the higher ones out of the panel. But I really feel like it's because early in the season, the Raptors are going to steal games against teams they had no business beating because we see the strength of schedule and they say, oh, this is a hard schedule. But we can catch people sleeping. And it's partly because I said we've got a head start on our training camp and our synergy ahead of other teams because of the work in the summer. And we're going to come out there and shock people. And in some ways, if Darko does things by the book and the philosophies and has a set way of doing things, it can be very successful in ways that we didn't realize could. So I think that we're going to win games in this very difficult part of the season, partly because of what he just said. We have home games. Partly because, as I said on the Brian show, Scotty's the guy. And we go as Scotty goes. And Scotty wants to become a top player in this league and be absolute dominant guy. He's got to go out there and win games and get noticed for that. And that's the fastest way to do it. Start beating some NBA teams the Raptors had no business playing or beating against because Scotty takes over at the end of the game and forces the game for a Raptors win. Yeah, that'll get noticed around the league. And all of a sudden, Scotty Barnes is blowing up like Vince Carter did in 2000. That's what I'm saying. And this could be duplicated this year. Don't get it twisted. We've seen signs of Scotty on a new level right now. And that's what I'm saying. That's going to be the thing that's going to get us some more of those games than people realize. Darko with his system and Scotty bought in and being that dude, man, being him. That's right. That's right. Tatum's hooping saying, if we lose, I wouldn't be mad if Toronto won the championship. That's the only team I wouldn't mind. That's awesome. I love that, Boston fan. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Y'all have so much, and I'm such an underdog mentality. And I see that they're really celebrating the 18 championships of y'all. That number 18 is very important to y'all this year because y'all have one more championship than the Lakers now. And that's fantastic in some ways. But also at the same time, the rich are richer. And I'm not about that. I want everybody to get championships. And I want to see the Suns get a championship at some point. They never won. There's different teams around the league I want to see win, but they're small market, or in some ways the NBA probably holds them down because they don't want them to win anything. But yeah, in some ways, it's like I'm not going for y'all to repeat. But if y'all did repeat and you did earn it like you did last year, I would respect it. Like I respect the way y'all won last year. I'd say that. But yay, thanks for not having a problem with us winning another championship. That would be fun. I'd like to see us get a second one. And I think that Scotty could do it in the next couple of years. I really do, if we get the right team around him. Kareem saying, if Philly, Boston, Cleveland, and the Lakers don't win the champions, the Raptors season was a success. And to some, it doesn't make sense. But for me, it's simple girl math. Yeah, okay. Philly, Boston, Cleveland, and Lakers don't win the champions. The Raptors season was a success. Yeah, okay. Well, Philly still hasn't won one since 83. So in some ways that's the thing is I'm really worried that the NBA is trying to get all the Atlantic Division teams championships since the Raptors, because in some ways there was that period of time before the Celtics won this year where the Raptors could lord over the whole Atlantic Division that we won the championship most recently. And now we can't say that to Boston, but we can still say it to Sixers and the Knicks. And I'm scared that the NBA is going to try and write scripts to get championships for those two markets in the next 2 years because of some of this shit. So, yeah, in some ways, I don't want these guys to get championships. It's one thing that the Celtics won one. But the Knicks and the Sixers winning championships this year or next year, nah, I ain't about that. So other teams beat their ass and put them out. Put them out is Cowboys saying, come on, come going dark side. Say, you want to. The Darko side. come to the dark side. What are you, the Emperor? What the fuck are you, Bradley? You're like the Emperor. I feel the hate come through you. Yes, my Lord Sith. Yeah, what is this? I know our team coach is named Darko, but do we have to be the Darko side? Carlos saying, interesting idea from who shall not be named. Right now, the perception on our picks are high because they think we are rebuilding. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that the Raptors rookies have a lot of potential. In some ways, we talked a little bit about Jacoby Walter and what's possible with him. I've made the comparisons that if Shed is going to be Fred Van Vliet, that what if Jacoby Walter is kind of like a Norman Powell in that whole group, as far as a guard forward who's got a long wingspan, who's kind of defensive oriented, but a hooper that can shoot and also attack the rim. In some ways, the mold of Jacoby Walter could the old mold of Norman Powell on the original bench mob. So we'll have to see. In some ways, these guys are such a question mark. In some ways, I don't expect nothing from Shamshay or Mobo. And now Carlson's not even going to be in the round. But the other guys, I could see them doing big things for us this year. Shed and Walter and even Battle. We'll have to see what happens with Battle. We switched one of our 5 rookies out, Carlson, for Battle. And Battle's going to be very interesting to see this year, too, how they utilize him. So we'll have to see. Yeah, F Pence here. I'm with you on that. Carlos saying, but as soon as we trend upward, have a 500 on the first 20 games, that means we were ahead of schedule. Would you guys trade our picks to get someone like Larry Markkinen? Ainge would probably want 5 first. No, I don't want to do that. That's not really going with what we're doing. In some ways, I think what we do is what we did before. The success was organically growing our own guys and bringing them up, like Fred, Pascal, OG, Norman Powell from that crop from before. And that we've got a good group of young rookies this year that could mimic that kind of action coming up. And then as time goes on, then you get the veteran players when you're closer, like when we did with Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka kind of stuff. We're not at that point. Right now, we're in discovery mode with young players. And in some ways, we're kind of sifting and sorting through them and figuring out who's good long-term to put money on to build around with Scott. Now, we know IQ and RJ are going to be around. I mean, I hope RJ is going to be around long-term. We know IQ should be. And that's the thing. We got to figure out more of these pieces that make sense, that'll be in the franchise with Scott. And some of the rookies will be with us, and some of them won't. Some of the 5 rookies that we just got, some of them will not go forward with us. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see who it is. But hopefully we get enough good ones, and we're paying them cheap enough on the lower contracts, and we get somewhere. In some ways, it was a coinciding of DeMar and Kyle's part of the team, the first team, and Fred and Norman and Pascal's part of the team as the bench mob that elevated us to the level where we could get to the NBA Finals and win the championship in 2019. So that's the stuff we have to mimic once again, the organic growth within. And let's not go for any home run big trades, and especially ones that are mortgaging a bunch of first-round picks going the other way. No. We don't want to do that. In some ways, we'll take our picks when we get them. But, yeah, in some ways, we're not ready to go vet and get somebody like Larry Markkinen is what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Tatum's saying at Cowboy, I love Toronto, but I can't switch sides now. Yeah, in some ways, look, he's on the winning side right now. And in some ways, it feels too good. It feels too good. That's right. Carlos saying, or a 2026 first for Kessler. Kessler's interesting, though. I mean, Kessler seems like he's untouchable. Danny Ainge is telling everybody when they come to him and they want Kessler that he's asking for so much back. So it's just not realistic. So I don't think Kessler is going to get pried out of Utah, because I really do feel like Danny Ainge really likes Walker Kessler in that Jazz jersey. So, yeah, wait for it, bro. Well, wait for it, bro. Kareem saying, Brian, use a Trini. Oh, my gosh. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I have a cousin from Trinidad. He's awesome. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's a lot of fun. Carlos saying, this means putting all our chips on the Scotty era. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We've already signaled that by the trades we made last year. If we were going to continue with Siakam, he'd still be in a Raptors jersey. And that's not the case. All right, let's do the Instagram stories real quick, since we're about an hour and 20 in, and I want to make sure we cover the stuff we're supposed to. Where's the Instagram tab? Oh, there it is. Right there. All right, we start with Siakam. He's doing a cold plunge in Indiana. He's talking about how it's very important to take care of your body and do recovery to get through the whole season, because he's got to be ready for being at top optimal shape in April, May, and June. So Siakam, he wears like little toe socks to keep his socks warm while he's in the crazy icy cold, rejuvenating ice cold bath. So yeah, he's got little toe socks on. It's kind of a cute little segment with Siakam there. Omari Moore is celebrating that the Los Angeles Dodgers are the National League champions. So it's them against the Yankees. It's New York versus LA in the finals of the World Series. So Amari Moore is celebrating for the Dodgers, and well, Otani, the money makes it, right? WNBA Toronto president Teresa Resch has got the logos from the two teams that played in the finals last night, showing off the different levels of logos: the primary logo, the global logo, and the secondary logo. And they're going to have the WNBA Toronto logos out soon in those spots soon. So she's just continuing to educate the fans on the process of how they are building this WNBA team for Toronto. And I love it. I love the transparency, and I love all the communication about the different things they're doing. It's very, very cool. She's also putting on blast Canadian Bridget Carlton for being in the WNBA finals, representing Canada. We love that. And also celebrating the New York Liberty as champions. There is the champions page. Very, very cool. And yeah, they showing the attendance for the finals games for WNBA. Very, very good stuff. The Liberty reached a record for Game 5 at Barclays Center of 18,090 people attended the game last night. And the Lynx had their record in Game 3. 19,521 people came to that Lynx game in Game 3. Very, very cool. Eric Smith has got them on blast. It's Scotty and IQ, We the North. They're counting down to our season opener on Wednesday. I love the pick of our guys in purple and the purple front black back Vince Carter jerseys. Yeah, let's get to the season and let's watch some Raptors basketball. I'm all about it. First up, Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's beat their ass is what I'm saying right now. Eric Smith also putting Sabrina Ionescu on blast, saying overtime and a title game. I'm all for it. So he liked the fouls, I guess. Let's see. Norman Powell's at Play for Purpose. It's the 2024 inaugural Play for Purpose. I'm not sure what that is. Seems it's like some sort of charity event, and Norman was there. Let's see. Jamal Shed putting on blast Bruno Fernando. Brewski is what they're calling him. These guys are really happy Fernando made the team, is what I'm getting. Bruno, of course, posting himself in the purple jersey, saying stuff about blessings and working hard and getting to his dream. So that's very good. You did it, man. You made the team, and you're guaranteed now, which is a big, big deal. So yeah, Shed with his Houston friends. Davion Mitchell is watching something called Trust Your Work. Let's see, Jake Soriano Media. I'm not sure what that is. Jay Nathan is putting on blast Mr. LV. He's calling Bruno Fernando Mr. LV. So the teammates of Bruno Fernando are very happy he made the cut, that he is going to be on the team still. So this is a very popular decision. There's Emmanuel Quickly walking down the court with Bruno Fernando, showing support for him and happiness for him. There's DJ Carton putting Bruno Fernando in the purple jersey on his Instagram stories, showing he's there. There's Ulrich Shomshay showing Bruno Fernando in his Instagram stories wearing the purple 24. So it's like, this is a popular decision within the team, obviously, to switch from Carlson to Jamison Battle and Bruno Fernando staying on the team. So they're very happy. The teammates are very happy. There's Bruno on his Instagram stories, and cherish it. And there's a picture of him as a young guy in Africa, in Angola, hanging from the rim. And look where you're at now, my guy, playing the Rod Wave, and you're in the NBA on the Raptors, my guy. That's very, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. All right, that's the Instagram stories for today. Oh, Jamal McGlure is saying happy birthday to Snoop Dogg. That's the one other story right there. He's saying happy birthday, Snoop Dogg. Yeah, Instagram stories, Raptors. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, where are we in the chat? Let's see. Kareem saying Jaylen Brown is literally the NBA's best kept secret. That man is a genius on and off the court. Honestly, I really commend Jaylen Brown and what he's doing with his fortune. All the money he's making in the NBA playing for the Celtics is going to good things. He's a socially self-conscious person. And honestly, I really like how he stands. You know, him and Kyrie get compared a lot for their politics. And in some ways, Kyrie's are misguided. I mean, he did do flat earth kind of shit and anti-vax kind of stuff, which I don't agree with myself. But Jaylen Brown, in some ways, he stands for stuff that's very worthwhile and very, very good for people. And I think that his whole idea for building a Black Wall Street is signifying this. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for Jaylen Brown. I really, really do. Cowboys saying Kareem Trini to two. Let's go, fam. There you go. And Tatum's hooping saying, I love JB, but how much first day selections does he have? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, I would. That's the problem, and this was the argument all along with you guys. And commending them for staying together and getting to this point and getting the championship together because everything tried to pull them apart for so many years. It's the same arguments they came at Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter with in 1999 when they said, you guys can't be on the same team together. You're going to outshine each other. You're going to shadow over. Vince is going to shadow over you, Tracy. You can't be here. And well, Tracy McGrady, with wisdom and time, found out that was bullshit and that he may have left stuff on the table by not staying in Toronto and being with his cousin Vince on the Raptors. In some ways, maybe that lesson is evident to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown about staying together in strength to get to the point where they got to this year. So I commend them for that because there's been so many forces trying to pull apart Brown and Tatum, and they've stayed true. They may not be completely the best of friends. They may be friendly rivals and competitors on the same team, but they've found a way to work together that's admirable. And in some ways, it's not common in this league. It's really easy to pull people apart. But the fact that Tatum and Browns have stayed committed to working together is very admirable. I have to say that. I'm giving way more props to Celtics Nation than I normally do right now. I really am. You want me to alley-oop Neon Moon? All right, I can do that. Let's give Cowboy an alley-oop. The man who throws all the passes is getting one right now. So we're going to give him a 5-pointer. You're at 164, Bradley. 164. Whoa, I put another one on there. 1164. That's too many. 164. 164 is the dunk total for a Cowboy. Kareem saying, I made my queue like 3 times of 20 players. And when my turn was up next, my queue page was blank. When the draft says your next pick is in 26, my heart sank every time. Yeah, it's just like that. You want me to look at your team? Let's go look at Kareem's team. Kareem's team is, let's complete crap is the name of his team. And let's see. He's got actually a very interesting team. You got Luka at your starting point guard. That's awesome. Luka and De'Aaron Fox, Brandon Ingram, Chris Middleton, Nikola Vucevic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, the good Bogdanovic, Kel'el Ware, very interesting, Ja Morant. So you got some real ballers on this team with Luka and Ja and De'Aaron Fox and Chris Middleton and Brandon Ingram. Very interesting. He's got Malik Monk, Jordan Clarkson, Kelly Oubre Jr. You got him late. I'm telling you, Kelly Oubre is going to be a starter for the Sixers, and he gets starters kind of points and stuff. So getting him so late, and wow, Dalton Connect, he had a very good preseason. There's Malcolm Brogdon, Paul Reed, and Julian Strother. Yeah, this is a very solid team by Kareem. He's got a lot of quality players all the way through his roster. And I expect them to do big things. Now, put Brogdon in the injury reserve and go get you a new player off the waiver wire, Kareem. Is what I'm saying. So you're going to play Amari in the first week of the season. Very cool team. It's a complete crap. Ja Morant. Yeah, he's going to have that redemption year, right? That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Randolph's here. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Do you have a dream? Believe dreams can come true. Though if you have the courage to pursue them. There you go. I like that. That's true. Like people say you can manifest your destiny. People say that if you really want it, you'll make it happen. I believe these are true. You know, one of the things that really supports what you want is your self-talk, and say it to yourself. Make it a mantra. If you really want something that bad, speak it into existence and fight and work towards it, and you will get it. Everything is possible in this life. You just got to go believe it and achieve it, and you will get it. Randolph, thank you for your words of wisdom. Blessings to you and the Phillips family and all the other Raptor Freak families. Leo's life tips for this morning. The kid from Kiel, Leo Routens, our favorite. He's saying, this week, I promised myself to stop doubting myself and trust my potential. Spend time each day to take care of myself. Do one thing that scares me but helps me grow, and learn to appreciate the little unnoticeable blessings. Yeah, I love that last one. You know, one of the things I do after I finish my stream every day is I go and sit outside in the yard for 15 minutes and just clear my mind. And I just look at nature, and I get really like that. I do like a little like communion with nature where I sit out there, I watch the birds, I watch the squirrels, and I just zone out, and I admire the blessings of natural life. In some ways, it clears me out. It's good for my health. It's really weird. Since I moved out here from downtown, I'm finding more healthiness, even though I'm more isolated out here. and being out there in communion with nature. And it's so important. Just take 15 minutes, do nothing, sit out there and just breathe the air, look at the trees, look at the way things are, observe. And wow, you can get in a very Zen kind of place that's very healthy and happy. You feel a connection with the natural world. It's important. It's something we're robbed of in our everyday lives with so much distractions, whether it's electronic devices, it's living in the middle of the concrete jungle, whatever it is. If you can find your slice of nature somewhere, go and commune with it every single day. Your health and your mental health will be better for it, is what I say right there. Yeah, yeah. Randolph, good to see you. Yeah, lots of life tips from our wise men, Trevor, Randolph, Leo, and well, I want to add a little bit from myself at the end there. Fiercely saying, I tried to pick players who will get the most minutes, like Cam Johnson, being strategic. Yeah, he's a black hole. He's going to take a lot of shots, and that is a smart way to do it. In some ways, you can gauge like good players is how many minutes per game they're getting. If they're not on the court, they're not collecting stats, helping your team. So it is important to get guys that are actually playing and getting a lot of opportunities. For sure, for sure. You're going to work on your bench. Yeah, and guys, don't be bashful. Shoot out some trade ideas to different people, and who knows? Maybe somebody will take that trade, and you can get something. If there's a player that you really like that you'd like to get, well, start shooting some trades to that person and see if you can get them unloaded to you. Yeah, Trevor's saying all of the Raptors players are so happy for Bruno. Put in him all over their Instagram stories like they like Bruno. Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. It's awesome. I'm very happy about that. I like the camaraderie. We know that the NBA is such a cutthroat sport and that it's really hard to make the league. So seeing the guys very genuinely happy for our big Angolan is very, very heartwarming. I'll say that. That's right. Rely on Messiah. That's right, Cowboy. Randolph saying, Lex, what's with all the injuries before the start of the season? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Well, let's not get worried about this. This is common around the NBA, and these injuries are not that big of a deal. In some ways, the injuries are a great cover for giving the young players more time to figure it out, like in preseason. You know, Scotty not coming to training camp and then not playing in the first preseason game allowed for RJ to come out there and play for 14 minutes, get 17 points. And then we didn't need to see nothing from RJ for the rest of the preseason. I don't think RJ's that hurt. In some ways, it's bad that Jacoby Walter was out and he couldn't play. That was bad. But Kelly Olynyk and Garrett Temple not playing in the preseason, well, they're just older guys that don't need the preseason. It's not like this is their first rodeo. And they can come and like they going to get 82 games or how many playoff games on top of that out of them. Well, they don't need to play the preseason because those guys are older and they've proven stuff. Now, Garrett did play in the last preseason game for just a blip, and that's fine. But honestly, sometimes these injuries in preseason are made up injuries just so you can give other guys more time out on the court. Did it look like Emmanuel was not ready to play on Friday? No, he looked ready to play, even though he had not played at all. And in some ways, him playing all 5 of the preseason games was not necessary. He has a nagging injury with his wrist a little bit. But it's not that bad of an injury. And if it had been the regular season, he may have been playing through it, even though. So we got to understand it's the stakes. It's preseason. In some ways, these guys have nothing to prove. They're just kind of coming in for warm-ups and kind of reps to get ready for the season. That's fine. The more important thing is the camp battle and figuring out who to keep out of Battle, Roden, Ramsey, and Carlson, and Fernando. So it's all about what we're trying to do at that point. And some of these injuries are piddly injuries. Like I'm not worried about RJ's injury. I'm not worried about Kelly's injury. I'm not worried about any of their injuries. Jacoby's was the one that was the most disturbing because he's a rookie and he needed to be out there playing with those other rookies. That's the only one I was worried about. That's right. Kaz is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Kaz. On the road, it's the weekday. It's Monday. He's back on the road again. Kaz just can't wait to get on the road again. That's right. 10-4, Roger that. And Daniel Barry's in live on the chat. Morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Daniel. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday morning, starting your week off right on the Raptor Freak channel, talking about WNBA finals last night. That's right. Cool Cat saying, thanks for the team review, Lex. I dropped Wiseman and added Cole Anthony out of the remaining lot. Well, it's got to be on the waiver wire, and we'll see if you get priority to get Cole Anthony. But that's a great point guard to add to get one more point guard on your team. Devin Booker is a point guard technically, but is he really? And in some ways, you need to probably get somebody there. Now, one of the things during the season, Cool Cat, is you're going to want to see which categories you're really strong in that you get a lot of stuff in. Like Bradley's obviously going to do very well in blocks this season. but he may have deficiencies in other areas. And that's where you tinker with your roster as far as like, okay, I'm doing really well in blocks, but I'm not getting any assists and I'm getting killed in assists every single week. So maybe you try and shore up your assists by making a flip out for a player somewhere. That's high level roster managing for a fantasy team. So this is the kind of stuff you got to think about and kind of critique how you did for the season. Now, I know that the scoring settings for this league are a little different without having points as being one of them, but we'll see how it works. I think it'll be fine. It's just, I know it's a little weird because you're going to want to look and see points, but no, I think points isn't necessarily the best indicator for offense. There's a lot of garbage points that guys get in this league, and it's not really a good measure for quality. In some ways, there's garbage time. There's some guys that just get a lot of points fed to them, partly because of getting a lot of free throw trips. There's all kinds of stuff like that. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Have a great and safe day. Thank you, Bradley. You too. The Star Scream saying, oh no, Lex, don't get it twisted. I hate the New York Yankees and the New York Giants just as much as the Knicks. Okay, there you go. So we got Mets fan, Nets fan, and Jets fan. I love that. I love that. Nets fan, Jets fan, and Mets fan. I mean, I kind of like those fans better. I love that Precious recently came out and said, no, I'm not rooting for the Yankees. I'm rooting for the Mets. Yeah, I like that. I have more respect for the New Yorkers, those teams like you do, than the ones that are like creme de la creme. I'm a Yankees, Knicks, Giants fan. Yeah, I can tell the difference here. I can tell the difference here. I guess in the hockey, it would be Rangers fan would be that person, and Islanders fan is with the Mets, Nets, and Jets. It's kind of like that. It's a Long Island kind of thing. Yeah, I get it, Starscream. Respect. And thanks for being back, man. Longtime fan of the channel. He's comes and gone a lot over the last 3 years, but he's been around over the years. I appreciate you, Starscream. Chris Kim saying Raps have a good chance to start off 2-0 versus Cleveland and Philly. That's fun. I like your prediction, Criscom. The great Criscom is like our Kreskin. He's kind of a mentalist. He's trying to say, and he's saying that he thinks that we have a good chance to get 2-0 by Friday and beat Nick Nurse for the first time with our coach being Darko. That'd be fantastic. I really want to beat Nurse. I really, really do. And we haven't beaten him yet in some ways since he left. And that's very personal. Honestly, Nick is that kind of guy. He holds those kind of grudges, and he's probably never, ever going to want to let the Raptors ever beat him after he left here the way he did in shame. So in some ways, man, I hope you're right, Criscom, but it's tall order, and the Sixers are scary. Now, Paul George is already hurt, and I don't know. I'll have to do all the previews, and I'll have the preview on Friday with the latest lineup news and the referees, and we'll see if it's conducive to possibly sneaking up and stealing one from the Sixers very early in the season. I'd love that prediction to happen. Seriously, I would. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Criscom. Raptors are coming. There you go. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll give Criscom a dunk real quick. Criscom is not always here, and in some ways, we do really appreciate him coming in and giving some stuff. All right, you're going to get the Kyle Lowry 7, a 5-pointer for you. You got 7 dunks right now. That's right. Kareem saying, don't get it twisted. I don't mind teams and cities. It's the fucking fan bases I hate. Yeah, but once again, we can't generalize them all. Just like we can't generalize groups of people. We have a great Celtics here right now. We have a fantastic Nets fan here, and we've had good Sixers fans here. Milbester's all right, so we've had a Knicks fan that's been okay too. So in some ways, we can't paint a whole broad stroke over groups. That's really bad to do in society. And in some ways, we got to realize there's good people in all fan nations. And if we're all commonly just fans of basketball, well, we find something to have common ground on. And that's why I appreciate people like Starscream and Tatum's Hooping and Milbester for coming through and saying hi to us, and our former Sixers friends that used to come through here all the time, Random Gamer and people like that. Yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying, making sense, Lex. No skipping steps. That's right. We can't go for a big home run move like Larry Markkinen until we prove where we are in certain things. And this is such a beginning of the journey, but it's very looking promising. I'm telling you, we're not the normal rebuilding team. And part of it is the superstar of Muscati. Part of it is that people are not giving the proper respect to Quickly and Barrett. That they're really saying, like, who the hell are the Raptors going to be this year? Well, motherfucker, you might just find out. And you may find out with catching an L from us because you were underestimating us. This is the way the Raptors have been a lot through their 30 years. Always underestimated, overachieving, and surprising the hell out of people. So, yeah, be ready, NBA. You want to sleep on us? You want to say this or that about the barbecue era? You're going to find out you're going to get roasted. is what's going to happen at barbecue. That's right. That's right. No skipping steps. And that's Darko's own words right there. That's right. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Great finals game in the WNBA. Congrats to New York and the refs. Shaking my head. There you go. Infamous. Welcome back, my guy, Infamous. Love seeing Infamous back in the chat. Yeah. I think it was a great WNBA season all around. And in some ways, some things may marred it at the end with the refs. But honestly, we can't look at the whole product of the whole entire season and how entertaining and how much growth happened and diss it. The WNBA is on the rise. And hey, I'm here for it. Literally, because Toronto's coming, baby. That's right. Monique is here. The super fan Monique Lawrence is in the house, MVP of the channel. Good morning, Raptor Freak family crew. Go Raptors. Very simple, very concise, and exactly on point. She's saying right there. That's right. 2 more days, Mo. That's right. She's going to be going down to the arena. She's going to bring that energy for our team and bring the vibes. And hopefully we get that win in the first game against the Cavaliers on Wednesday night. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's right. Kareem saying, I hope Bruno could be like more like an enforcer, like Draymond Green or Charles Oakley. We need that player that opposing players will feel threatened by. You know, that's not a bad call, Kareem. In some ways, he should have that. He's got the size in some ways. You know, it's weird. The Raptors on the down low have enforcers that are very, very good. We're not a weak punk-ass team. We're not soft like Charmin. No, we're not. You can look at the way RJ Barrett plays on the court, and he is very aggressive and fit. The other thing, strength, and they ain't trying to mess with him. As much as Steve Adams is a force to deal with around the league, Jakob's like that also. Now, he's a nice guy. He smiles. But trust me, Jakob Poeltl is a physical enforcer for this team in different ways, even if he's doing it with a smile. Yeah, and the other guy we got to talk about in this situation is Barnes himself. Barnes is a freak of nature with his physical gifts as far as how quick he is and how strong he is. And in some ways, Scotty is taking upon an enforcer role for himself at times. And I don't necessarily like the franchise face being the enforcer also. But, man, the way he gets in people's faces like DeAndre Ayton and Quentin Grimes, yeah. Scotty in some ways is that dude himself, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But he is a very strong big boy. And in some ways, he can do that. He can throw that weight around. I don't think people can try and mess with Scott, seriously. So I don't mind this. It's better for Bruno to catch 6 fouls and get in foul trouble being an enforcer than Scotty or Jakob. So, yeah, I like this idea. I'm with it. But on the down low, let's not get it twisted. And even our smaller guys, some of them are real physical dogs like Shed and Mitchell. So, you know, enforcer is kind of a spread out role across the board, whether it's RJ's attitude, Jakob's silent, friendly physicality, or Scotty's fieriness of competing. It's all there. It's all there. You can see it. Trevor's saying, I just got a call from a telemarketer. He said he doesn't understand what I'm saying, so I told him press 1 for English. Trevor is hilarious, man. Trevor, you are so funny, man. You can get another dunk right now. Wow, Trevor's cleaning up on the dunks right now. That is just so non sequitur. Where is this coming in here with this all of a sudden? 193. He said press 1 for English. That's hilarious, Trevor. Yeah, you got that alley-oop. Don't worry, cowboy. I got him. Monique's saying, Lex, did you see the recent Zach Edey picture? Yeah, there's the one you shared in our Facebook chat of him in a room with a bunch of Vancouver Grizzlies apparel. And it's like Vancouver stuff, a lot of Vancouver stuff, which is very cool. You know, they're in their 30th anniversary season just like us. So they're going to be doing stuff that kind of mirrors what the Raptors Nation's doing with the purple jerseys. They're going to bring back a lot of the Vancouver kind of stuff. In fact, they're going to wear jerseys that say Vancouver Grizzlies on them this season. This season, the Memphis Grizzlies will be wearing Vancouver Grizzlies throwback jerseys from Big Country Bryant Reeves era. So this makes total sense. And why not have a great new, big, huge, giant rookie that's Canadian and go back and rediscover those Canadian roots of that franchise? So, yeah, it's a fantastic thing. I love that stuff in there. That memorabilia is awesome. In some ways, I love the Raptors classic expansion year memorabilia more than Grizzly stuff. But that Grizzly stuff was good, too. In some ways, there's a lot of cool stuff in the Grizzlies early swag too. But yeah, great picture, and thank you for sharing it with us. That's right. Yeah, Chris comes saying, "Yep, Maxi's out plus PG. And who knows what's up? Part-time Embiid. I just don't believe in Cleveland. They're missing Strus. Yeah, that's a big one. Off topic, rebuilding teams don't usually have 3 players on their second contract. Yeah, that's another thing. In some way, that's true. Scotty, Emmanuel, and RJ are a little bit ahead of just the youngest players. In fact, it's weird. They're young players. They're definitely young, and they have a lot of room and time to grow, but they're already kind of advanced in what they're doing. It's not like Emmanuel, RJ, or Scotty are their age in some ways with their professional careers. They're savvy. They've been tested. Scotty's advanced for where he's at with his age. And people forget how old RJ is. He's not that old, but it seems like RJ's way older than he is. That's the crazy thing on the down low about them. I love what you're saying here, Crisco, as far as giving me an injury report for the Sixers. And yeah, Strus being out for Cleveland, that's a key, huge thing too. Last year, Strus was their best three-point shooter and absolutely killing it for the Cavs. And him being out at the beginning of the season is not going to help them get their season started. Trust me. And they have a new coach, and they have a new stuff going on there. And there's nothing guaranteed for the Cavs. All of the early prognostications for the Cleveland Cavaliers are bullshit because nobody knows anything about them. It's jack shit. In some ways, we could swap places with them in the Eastern Conference standings in the eyes of all the experts, and they wouldn't even realize it because everything in Cleveland could go south and not go well. I'm telling you. In fact, ESPN has a ranking out this morning, and they've got Raptors ranked at 24, BPI's overall ranking 25. This is Tim Bontemps writing this. When we last saw them, the Raptors finally turned the page on their 2019 NBA title winning team by moving on from OG and Pascal. This is now Scotty Barnes' team. The third-year forward was one of 2 players, along with Giannis, to average at least 19 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block last season. And he made his first All-Star team as a result. Arriving in the midseason trade that sent Anunoby to the Knicks, Emmanuel quickly was given a 5-year, $175 million deal. Toronto also grabbed a pair of intriguing prospects in the draft in Jacoby Walter and Jonathan Mobo. More importantly, there's more than 2. We got Jamal Shed also. And y'all are even not even talking about Shamshay. Y'all are scared of what Shamshay represents and what he's going to be down the road. I know you are. Most importantly, though, the Raptors committed a 5-year max extension to Barnes, officially making him the face of their next generation of their franchise. Their biggest strengths and weaknesses, the Raptors are in the middle of a rebuild, but as a result have a lot of young athletic players at the disposal of Coach Darko Rajakovic and should be able to push the tempo as a result. They'll also need to, as this team is not exactly equipped to fire away from beyond the arc with a lot of success. Points in transition and off turnovers will certainly be needed to make up the difference after the Raptors were tied for 20 and threes made last year. I won't disagree with anything Tim Bontemps says there. And if we're seeing the signs in preseason, we're going to be putting people on their heels on both sides of the ball. Whether it's when we have the ball or they have the ball, we're coming at them like a group of dogs, and we are coming at them, JYD. That's right. Raptors in rank, Scotty Barnes, 35, and the Raptors in the ESPN 100, RJ Barrett, 53, and Emmanuel quickly, 64. Number to watch, pace. The Raptors led the NBA in fast break points per game last season. They also ranked 7th in points per possession, in transition, and second in transition possessions per game, according to Sports Second Spectrum. Best bet. And this is very interesting. And we kind of talked about this on To The Point yesterday. Best bet, Scotty Barnes to win most improved player. Now they're saying they think Scotty's going to win most improved player. We have heard in the preseason 4 different Raptors could be candidates for most improved player this season. What if all 4 of for most improved player this season? That's RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, and Grady Dick. I'm telling you, all 4 of them could make leaps in their games this year. And where will the Raptors be in the standings after that? When RJ Barrett's shooting better than he did in New York. Emmanuel Quickly has more of a defensive side to his game, and he's a bona fide starting point guard, top-level point guard in the NBA. Scotty Barnes jumps from all-star to all-NBA level, and Grady Dick is an absolute smash as a starter scorer and adding good stuff on the defensive end also all of a sudden. I'm telling you, that's the interesting thing, is that Scotty is now getting kudos from the ESPN website saying that he could be the most improved player. Well, y'all said RJ could be it. You said that Emmanuel could be it. And I've even seen y'all say Grady Dick could be the most improved player. It's crazy. In some ways, I don't agree with them making Scotty most improved player because honestly, we know he's badass. And it's kind of like when Ja Morant won the most improved player. It's like, what is this? It's like he's a top level player already. You should be giving most improved player from a guy who comes from nowhere and all of a sudden makes him something. That's what it should be. Fantasy breakout candidate, according to ESPN, is RJ Barrett. They're saying that since RJ left the Knicks and came to Toronto, all of his numbers went up. And that's exactly the damn truth. And that Barrett can find himself in the running for most improved player also. So that's what I'm saying. Something's not adding up exactly. Why are all the Raptors starters, other than Jakob, in the running for most improved player this year? And we haven't even started. Watch. That's going to be very interesting. ESPN, you got us ranked lower than Chicago and Atlanta. You're going to get it for that. And even Miami's going to be worse than us this year. Watch. I'm serious. I could see this happening. That even Cleveland or Miami could slip and be below us. Atlanta and Chicago are going to be below us, and they're going to be down there with Charlotte and Washington and Brooklyn. I'm telling you, we're going to be higher in the Eastern standings than the NBA thinks right now. And they're going to find out the reality as we unravel the season and we go forward and we kick some major ass is what I'm saying right now. That's what's coming up right now. Yeah, that's what's coming up. That's right. Monique is saying roasted is right. That's right. Barbecue roasted by that Barnes, Barrett, and Quickly. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. That's right, Monique. That's right. Infamous is saying, I strongly believe that Mobo has the same potential to grow as Pascal if he keeps working hard. Wait and see. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting comparison. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Mobo's like following the footsteps of Siakam, but Siakam is so weird, man. Siakam is such a hard worker, and he really, really did build himself to who he is. Rico Hines said he's the hardest worker he's ever seen around basketball ever, and that's a high compliment. So Jonathan's going to have to be very serious, like Pascal was, if he's going to try and reach those kind of heights. Seriously. I mean, I love this. I'm not going to naysay and say he can't do it, but I don't think it's likely. Let's just put it that to Infamous. I agree. And they said this draft class was garbage. All right, you're going to give Infamous a dunk? I'll do that right now. Yeah. I mean, listen, I like the optimism, but I'm trying to stay grounded here. And, you know, in some ways, I'll go overboard with saying really good things about the Raptors, but I don't know if I can predict that Jonathan Mobo is the next Pascal Siakam. 35 dunks for you was Carlson's number, but not anymore. It's too bad. It's too bad. He'll be hopefully on 905 still. We'll have to see what happens with Brandon Carlson. Mike is here. Logical Raptors fanatic in the house. Project Truth always, Mike. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's talk the truth. Trevor, Juju have tried. You should. Oh, I don't know what that means. Ju Trevor J. Okay, that's what it is. Trevor J. You should have tried to sell him on the WWE pay-per-view. Laugh out loud, John Cena. I don't know exactly what Mike's saying there. He's got a funny joke about you can't see me, I guess, is what he's trying to say. Cowboy's saying, let's grow. Alley-oop to the guy from Dukes. Oh, yeah. Tommy, okay, listen. In some ways, Bradley, I don't want you to bring him up anymore. Seriously. Do not keep bringing Tom up. I do not want to see his name in the chat. Seriously, it's a sore spot. And I'm not fixing things with him. He's not coming back. So don't bring him up anymore. Seriously, it's not going to happen, Bradley. And in some ways, you're just like making me depressed when you bring him up in the chat. You want to make me unhappy and sad. You keep bringing Tom's name up in this chat. Okay, Cowboy? Now, I asked you a couple times not to bring him up in this chat, and you continue to not pay attention to my request. I don't like that. Seriously. Kareem's saying, wait, so the Raptors aren't going to try and obtain Carlson for 905? I think they will. I don't know if that's for sure, but we've heard that it's possible. And knowing them, they're smart. I could see this happening. I think Carlson, he wants to just try and make the league no matter what. Sure, he's had a setback, but it'd be bad to bite the hand that was feeding him already. So we'll see. It could be that Carlson has the choice. And he's like, no, screw you guys. You took my two-way away from me. I want to go sign with another G League team. So we'll have to see how it works out. There's nothing guaranteed. And it could very well be Brandon is going to another team. But I think we have the rights to him also still. So who knows? I don't know. We'll see officially if he's going to be on 905. Fiercely saying, anyone know if Trent Jr. is a starter with the Bucks? He should be. I think he is. I want to speculate as Dame Lillard, Chris Middleton, Giannis, a big man, and Gary as the starters. I think so. If he's not, and he's kind of in the same role he was with Toronto, either a starter or first guy off the bench, he's going to be fine either way. He's on my fantasy team, so I hope he does do well. Kareem saying NBA media circuit sucks. But when fans see Scotty play, they leave the building in awe. Yeah, they can kind of try and hide Scott, but it's not going to work. There's going to be highlights this year that he's going to do. And I'm serious. He's going to have clutch plays where he wins games, and it's going to look so overwhelmingly badass. He shouldn't have beaten because he rose up and he took over and dominated. That's what I'm talking about. And in some ways, Vince did do that early in his Raptors career. He was a factor in helping the Raptors win in a very spectacular way with high flying stuff and big shots. And well, I'm telling you, the recipe is there for Scott to repeat this stuff. In some ways, Scott, you're not going to get the right attention on the south side of the border between Canada and USA. You go make the attention because they will pay attention to you if you are doing things that make people go, oh shit, look at that. And that's what I'm predicting this year. That it's not only going to be amazing, huge monster dunks or crazy ass plays. He's actually going to be a winning kind of player that wins games for the Raptors we shouldn't have won. And that's going to get him the mainstream attention this season. And it'll put him in a conversation that he may be one of the top 12 players in the league and also in all NBA conversations, is what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's what I'm hoping for. Papa Scotty. That's right. Papa Scotty. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying Chris Middleton is injured, so I'm thinking Gary will be the starter. Yeah, I think he was slated to be the starter either way in the backcourt with Lillard. They have worked together in the past. And you know what? They need that shooting. I think that they like having a lot of three-point shooters around Giannis, and that's part of the reason why they'll do that. Kareem's saying, great, Smooth is here. Let's do the classic card tomorrow. All right, thanks for reminding me to do classic card. I do forget to do it if you guys don't tell me. So it's really good that you reminded me to do it. Okay, this is an easy one. Man, I can't even believe I grabbed this one. All right, so this is not going to be a major points one, and I'm not going to show it very close. So y'all, first and last name, do not half-ass it. Tell me who this is. You can see it from there. Just write it in. It's so easy. Come on now. I'm telling you that it's easy is making it so easy. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas is exactly right. You didn't spell Isaiah right, Isaac, but I don't care. You put an extra A in there. There's no first A. That's right. Joe Dumars? No, it's Isaiah. Look at the art. That's our first president of our team, Isaiah Thomas, on an artistic card. Isaiah Thomas is a bad boys card too. Zeke. That's right. Good old Zeke. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a flattering drawing of our first team president, Isaiah Thomas? I don't know. His nose looks a little weird. I don't know. It's an interesting card. All right, I'm going to give Isaac. I don't know. As David's not here, he would tell us what point total to give him. I don't know. I'm going to give Isaac 100 for this. I think that 100's enough. He saw it from far away. Oh, he is here. Oh, you're going to give him 50. David is here. He's writing it in. Okay, so Isaac, you're getting 50 points because that is too easy. And David is in charge of the trivia. So he's going to be the one who writes it in. So thank you for the classic card. Isaiah Thomas, original Raptors team president and bad boy and two-time NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons. That's right. There you go. Cal, Smooth saying players from 2000, I'm lost. You know, I'm going to look at it real quick and tell you guys. David's updating it as I speak right this moment. Kareem, you are leading the Raptor Freak trivia at 4,695 points. Smooth, you're in second at 4,525 points. And Amit is in third at 4,190 points. So y'all, it's Kareem, you've got a 500-point lead on Amit at this point. Keep going, guys. You and Smooth are the two-man race that I want to see to the end of the season. And you know, like I said, at the end of the year, if the Raptors get eliminated from playoffs and we're doing Tuesday trivia every Tuesday until Larry O'Brien, that's when Amit's going to try and catch up on y'all. So y'all need to build a lead during the season with the classic cards to be able to try and beat last year's champion. If you're going to do that. Yeah, just so you know. But Kareem, you're on top. You're not only on top on the dunks, you're on top on the trivia right now. So keep going, man. Let's see. Wait, what was that? 2000 onward. Okay, yeah, I get it. Pierce saying thank you. Infamous saying, I strongly believe RJ will emerge as the breakout star and leader of this team. No disrespect to Scotty. I think that everybody's going to do well and they're all going to share it together. I think that RJ is going to be very powerful and he's going to be awesome. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm going to love it. And I'm sure Scotty's going to love it too. It's just that Scotty can do things in a different way. In some ways, the things that people are expecting from Scotty may not be what they exactly think. Like everybody keeps talking about, are the Raptors big three barbecue going to all average 20 points? I don't think they will. I don't think Scotty's going to average over 20 points. And that may be kind of weird for me to say, okay, he's going to be a dominant guy, but he's not going to average 20 points, Lex? What do you mean? Yeah, because I could see RJ averaging like 25 points. Emmanuel maybe averaging around 20 points. Scotty being right around 20 points also. But in some ways, it's not what Scott needs to do is to dominate scoring for us. He needs to dominate the game in whatever facet needs to be faceted that night. In some ways, it may be the matchup of who we're playing and that he needs to be more defensive oriented in his dominance. It may be that it is a night where he has to go down low and beat up a little baby in the post and just absolutely kill a size mismatch where he can absolutely take advantage of that. So in some ways, that's a cool thing about Scott is he's not like the normal NBA superstar that usually has to score to make their will happen in the game. No, he's different than Kevin. In some ways, he's more like a guy who can pick which side of the ball in whichever moment. And it may be RJ is more going to help on the offensive end and dominate in that way to help us win. But Scotty can pick either side of the ball to help us win. And Emmanuel, in some ways, his switches between am I choosing myself or am I choosing my teammates as a point guard? So there's different ways we can flow the water. And honestly, RJ is the best scorer on our team, and he will get that outlet. He's going to be money for us. There are going to be times where we have a hard time scoring, and RJ is going to absolutely bail us out and help us in certain ways. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that Scotty can't too, but in some ways, Scotty can diversify his help for the Raptors pertaining on any given night to the opponent and what we need the most. Now, RJ doesn't have that diversification. In some ways, RJ's going to bully his way to the lane with left-handed hooks over people and make some threes and score for us. Meanwhile, Scott could do scoring to help us, but he could also help us with steals and blocks and just playing an overpowering defense. And that's the difference right there. And I think that these guys can all excel and grow and get better and better all at the same time. And it's not going to be a competition where they take it away from each other in those kind of ways. I think that that's going to be very, very good. Very, very good. Mike thought it was Joe Dumars. It could have been. That's probably the next best second guess. That's right. 1 point. Andrew says only 1 point for that trip card. You want a dunk for Andrew? Isaac's like, Isaac wants him to get a dunk for telling him he should only get 1 point for that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, we'll give Andrew a dunk for that. Andrew's been pretty silly. 165, the rookie of the year, Andrew. David's saying, I'll post the leaderboard again after the stream today. All right. Thank you, David. Thank you for posting that on the semi-regular, just so they can say where they're at and they can compete. In some ways, I want Smooth to be like, I'm in second and I'm that close to Kareem. I need to go get him in some ways. And Kareem even saying like, oh, Smooth's here. We can do this tomorrow. That's competitiveness right there. That's competitiveness right there. Yeah. Kareem saying, laugh out loud. I'm leading either I'm great or y'all are pathetic. This is a complete crap. That's funny. That's funny too. David's laughing. And Isaac's saying, it's a half-ass world out there, Kareem. You guys are on fire right now. This is funny. Mike's saying, if you want them to win, just tell us and we won't show up. No, I want all you guys to compete. It's just that they're the ones at the top. They're the guys putting in the most work. I mean, there are other people that are on the list that could get involved if they really want to. Like Andrew is coming up quick. He's at 3,775 points. Fiercey is a very strong trivia player who's up in the top 5. Isaac is coming up. He just added another 50 points to score. He's at 2860. Monique is number 7. She's still involved in things with over 2,000 trivia points. Seymour at 1,500. Stargate, Carlo, Amari, G, Bryce. And Mike, you're at 15 on the trivia list. So you can move up the ranks, Mike. If you're trying, you got to get that classic card and show up for the trivias like the one we're doing tomorrow. That's right. That's right. Isaac's saying, what if we all change our names to Kareem? I don't know. That's going to make things very confusing. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, if you do that, I mean, I don't know how to deal with that. If all y'all in the chat is named Kareem, we'll have to figure out who the real one is. And we'll know by the humor. The guy who's the funniest, we're like, that's the real Kareem. He's the funniest one. Kareem saying, I should tell Lex to tell me the classic card before he pulls it from the package and ask David for all the answers to trivia. How much should I pay you guys? No, that's why I have a commissioner of trivia, to keep things on the up and up. No, there's no shenanigans. If we wanted to try and rig this thing, we couldn't if we tried. Trust me. In some ways, it's on you guys. You guys do what you do. You do what you do. Amit did what he did. He won the championship. Trust me. If we wanted to rig it and we could, we would have, and we can't. So just keep playing. You guys are doing great. That's what I'll say right there. Andrew saying if Kareem guesses wrong, it should reset his points. That's hilarious. This is so funny. You guys are really funny right now. There's a lot of housekeeping. This is inside Raptors Freak kind of stuff, talking about their fantasy teams and talking and stuff. I know people come here and they want to hear Raptors news and NBA stuff. And in some ways, we're kind of doing our own thing with our own little family right now. But it's all good. We can do this on a Monday. It's fine. The season's going to start real soon. It's hilarious. Yeah, that's so funny, Andrew. I got to give you another dunk for that. That is really funny. You want us to reset his numbers. 170. You got another 5-pointer. 170. Monique saying, congrats on the episode with Brian once again, Lex. W Stream and W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always. Raptor Freak crew strong. Yeah, that'll drop tomorrow, Brian said. It'll be right before the stream and tomorrow, 9:30. He's dropping it at 9 a.m. to the point. My appearance on there, once again, I've appeared on that show quite a few times, but this is the first time this year. I come around this time of year, around this time, and show up on Brian's show. So y'all give him some support and some clicks and some likes, because it's a really good episode. Honestly, it's the one I enjoyed doing the most out of all the ones I've done with Brian. I really enjoyed doing the show with you yesterday, King, just so you know. Smooth saying, just a suggestion, consider having the classic card at a specific time every stream. Well, maybe that's part of the fun, is that if you really want to be a diehard and win it, these are the ones that are really here all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about maybe doing that, but in some ways, this stream's a free-for-all. And I don't always remember to do it. I was taking the cue from David when he'd show up, but David's been very silent around the channel in different ways and kind of just chimes in when he has to. So Trevor's been reminding me to do the classic card, and somebody else completely said the classic card just now. I think it was Kareem making a joke, and that's why I remembered to do it. So I don't know. I could say it's this time. We're stopping everything right that is going on right at this time to do it, but I don't think that would be right. It might really mess up the flow of the show. In some ways, I get what you're saying. In some ways, that'd be real easy for you guys. Okay, he's going to do it at 10 a.m. We'll just jump in a half hour into a stream and get it. But in some ways, it being all over the place and I guess you just got to be present is kind of part of what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to handle it this way because in some ways, the streams are always all different. And I don't know what I'm going to be talking about at any given time. In some ways, I want it to flow naturally. Let's see. Kareem saying, smooth, stop giving great ideas. Mike saying, I was quoting Darko. That was part of his complete crap speech. Oh, okay. Okay. That's what it was. I should know it by heart. Honestly, it should be like gospel to me. It's like trust in Messiah. I should know the complete. If they were going to show up and you were going to make us lose, why do we even come to the game? Ben Taylor, you bastard. Minus 500 points for Smooth? Nah, we don't have to do that. And Kareem saying minus 1,000 points for Smooth. He agrees. Yeah, we're not doing that, guys. Let's see. While you're at it, minus 5,000 for Kareem or until I'm first. Man, I like this. This is the kind of competition I wanted. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Chris comes saying majority of people who think the Raptors will not be good are funny. Laugh out loud. Our big three should average 20 points per game minimum. Years away from their prime. Good job, Masai. Yeah, totally with Chriscom on this. And in some ways, surface level people, sheep will listen to mainstream ESPN media and just believe whatever the fuck they're saying without looking for their own two eyes and watching themselves. Watching these preseason games in the last 2 weeks made me really realize I have no idea how to gauge. Weeks ago, it would be easy for me to say we're going to be a bottom feeder and we're going to be lucky if we get 30 wins this year. But after what I saw Scotty do in preseason, it made me realize I have no fucking idea how good we're going to be this year because I have no idea where Scott could carry us. Seriously. And don't get it twisted. He's got reinforcements with the barbecue guys with him. Barrett and Quickly are going to be wanting to win. Emmanuel Quickly is a supreme professional, and he's not resting on his laurels that he got this bag this summer from us. He's coming out to prove more and more, and he wants to win. And in some ways, he understands people are denigrate us, put us down, and don't believe in us. Well, that's the thing. Emmanuel wants to show everybody just how wrong they are. And I'm all about it. We know RJ. We know his energy. We know we feel it, how Mr. Barrett carries himself. You think he's coming out there to get punked or lose that much? No, he's coming out there to fight with every ounce of his energy to the end to make the Raptors win, his childhood favorite team. Yeah, he's living that dream. And he's not coming to the game to waste his time and trying to collect L's. Those guys are going all out every night, and they're going to be trying real, real hard to get wins that they did not think anybody else was going to think they can get. That's what I'm saying right now. That's the fun thing. And Chris, I see your vision with you, my guy. I see it with you. That's right. Smooth saying, I see. It's all good, Smooth. These guys aren't serious. There's no deducting of points. None of this stuff is happening. That's right. Kareem saying we should revoke Andrew's Rookie of the Year title and just give him a ribbon. Man, y'all are funny, man. Y'all are funny with this shit. Yes, who's saying no problem? This is not serious. None of this is serious right here. None of this is serious. Trevor's telling me to do the classic card. I did the classic card, Trevor. He's like, Andrew's saying, replace my Rookie of the Year with MVP. Down the road, maybe you will get MVP. Although Monique is like Jokic, collecting the MVPs every year. I mean, seriously, she's just getting them. I'm sorry. It's tough to beat the super fan Monique Lawrence being the MVP of the Raptor Freak family. I'm sorry. It's so difficult. And in some ways, that's a difficult title to get. I'm sorry. It just is. I was just saying, just like Scotty. Yeah, me and Scott, FSU Seminoles. That's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. David's saying it's done. Minus 300 for Trevor, not knowing we did it. No, don't do that. The Commissioner Fund. In some ways, he's got a very important title on this channel. A very, very important title. Isaac saying, we learned I cannot spell. Well, you spelt it Isaiah Ryder way. In some ways, I don't blame you for that. There's multiple different ways to spell the name Isaiah. It's just you put the first A in there for Isaiah Thomas, which is very much Isaiah Lord Thomas is only one A, and it's that second one. It looks like, that's a bird. There's some really cool birds out in the yard today. Like I've seen some woodpeckers and all kinds of stuff. The black-eyed juncos are out there eating up the seeds off the ground, stuff like that. I got to get out there and get my nature break soon, guys. I am over time. But you guys are so funny right now. Minus 50 for Isaac? No, you got 50 for Isaiah Thomas. Isaac, why are you doing this to yourself? Don't self-flagellate yourself there. Yeah, let's see. Kareem saying, awesome stream, Lex. Raptors will turn lots of heads the first 20 games of the season, while other teams are still ramping up. Raptors are in full swing from Spain to Montreal. We are already a cohesive unit. And they all for one for all, and they're bought in with each other. That's the fun thing about this. These guys are playing for each other. And in some ways, that's much different than playing for yourself in the middle of a team, just trying to carve out your NBA identity. These guys are working together, and it's going to be awesome. Mike's saying, can I be the Bobby Webster? You want to be Bobby Webster? Man, yeah, I mean, you are pretty good. You're our cap expert. You are kind of involved in the business side of things for us. So, I mean, yeah, you want to be Bobby Webster. You can be the channel's Bobby Webster. I'm fine with that. Fine with that. That's right. Trevor's saying, I step away for a moment. Who was the classic card for today? It was Isaiah Thomas. It was a very interesting drawn card of Isaiah. You think that's a good art, Trevor? How's that Isaiah look? Rank that from 10. How would you rank that Isaiah Thomas art right there? 1 out of 10. You guys can put all your rankings in there. Yeah. What do you guys think? I think his nose looks a little weird. Maybe not totally the nicest drawing. Let's look at his face up there. That's even worse. Man's looking like Orlando Woolridge took a couple punches to the face is what he looks like there. Looks like he's like Orlando Woolridge on Rocky Balboa movie. He's like out there like Clubber Lang. Dun, 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 dun. Solid 4. Yeah, I think this is about right. That's a solid 4 ranking for Isaiah Thomas and the art. Man, the nose is just wrong. It is. The nose ain't right. Who drew that nose? It don't look right. All right, let's go look at our tabs. The Liberty won in overtime. They won their first ever WNBA championship. Congratulations, New York Liberty, on that win. Congratulations, refs, also. Yeah, in some ways, that's the shady part of it that I'm not impressed about. Yeah, people are talking trash about it. LeBron said himself, I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul. Let the damn players dictate the outcome of the close battle-tested game. That's what LeBron's saying. LeBron, now, would you say that about issues with you involved in NBA games where you've gotten help from the referees as a Laker? I hope you would be the same kind of showing the same kind of attitude about letting the players figure it out and not that kind of stuff. People are kind of roasting LeBron in the comments there for that. It's kind of funny, actually. Let's see. What else? We got a birthday today. Yeah. Happy birthday to Johnny Davis. He is a former assistant coach for the Raptors. Johnny Davis, happy birthday to you, sir. And that's about it. We're done with the Raptor Freak stream for today. Tomorrow, Tuesday trivia written by Commissioner of Trivia David Saborin. So be ready, be there, or be square. questions. And then on Wednesday, we have the preview for the Cleveland game, the opener for the season. I'll have the latest lineup news, the referee report, all the fun stuff we do on the Raptors channel for previewing our Raptors games. That's right. Isaac, you think that's a number 11 out of 100? Is that the card in the set? Let's see. Where is it up there? It's 91 out of the card set. I'm sorry. It's number 91. Yeah. Number 11, as in that's Isaiah's number. 11. That's right. That is Isaiah's number. Mike's saying they did him like Ronaldo's statue. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man, I don't know. Look at that, man. What is that? I mean, come on. I like that it's regular art and not AI, obviously. But yeah, in some ways, this person, hey, they did it out of their heart. I can tell. That's what it is right there. Andrew's saying someone should make a Lex card so he can pull it out of the classic card one day. That would be too meta. That would be kind of weird. Like, what are you trying to do to me? Is this like being John Malkovich? Do you want me to go into an Inception world? Is that what you're trying to do to me? Like I pull out the card and it's me, and I'm like, what the? Did we just cross parallel universes? I'd be very, very strange. Like what if I was Grady Dick and like all of a sudden I pulled the car out and it's Alexiot's #1 Raptors. I'm like, whoa, who's that? What universe am I Grady Dick? That'd be very weird, guys. Very, very strange. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak channel today on a lively Monday moment, celebrating the WNBA culmination of the championship for the New York Liberty. Yeah, we're gonna be covering the WNBA more and more on this channel in the years to come as we get our team here in Toronto. Of course, I'm gonna deal with them just like I deal with the Raptors, and it'll be year-long NBA and WNBA coverage. It's kind of cool that they finished up with 2 days to spare before the NBA starts up. So there's 1 day of rest today. No WNBA, no NBA, no nothing, and then tomorrow it all starts again. Larry O'Brien. And yeah, and then before they're done, they start the WNBA season. So it's going to be a year-long grind for me with games all year long once we get our WNBA franchise. And I'm looking forward to it. The offseason is difficult to do on this channel. Now, Team Canada does help. Rico Hines Runs has been very helpful in the past too. But finding things to talk about in basketball world during the summer has been difficult. The Olympics helped a lot this summer, though. They really, really did. Yeah, Andrew's laughing. Thanks, Lex. Thank you, Andrew, for being a very passionate Raptors fan and joining the Raptor Freak family. We really do appreciate you. Yeah, Cool Cat saying, great session, Lex. Farewell to WNBA. Hello and welcome, NBA. Yeah, you put that W on there too, but it's all good. We knew what you meant. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join if you feel like it. Our Facebook group has all kinds of great information dropping in there all the time. Superfan Mo is on it all the time. She's just giving us the goods from things she's finding online in different places. Trevor J, your part in that whole thing is essential also. And Isaac, yeah, thanks for the Twitch warnings when Scotty's on Twitch. All that kind of stuff is awesome. Yeah, I know you meant what you meant with the typo. You put it in there twice. So I put the ladies in there twice. I've been watching Cobra Kai this weekend. I was a marathon watching Cobra Kai this weekend. And what a weird show. I used to love Karate Kid, but I've been watching Cobra Kai. I hadn't watched it until now. And it's amazing that they made 6 seasons out of it. Very, very interesting show. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up right at the end. All right, y'all, have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Let's go, Raptors. And referees, stop railroading things and start letting the competitors compete and decide the outcomes. It so sucks, man. I'm sick of this in all sports. Just stop doing this shit. You're not the stars of this show. Let the athletes compete and determine the outcome. Seriously, stop doing this shit. Seriously, stupid.